So, good afternoon, Mr. Rick Schaeffer.
Well, good afternoon, Randy Rainwater. There's news every day, isn't there? Okay, so here's baseball. Here's baseball. Gage Wood is going to come back. We knew he was fairly close, but we didn't know he was so close that he's now going to pitch this weekend against Texas A&M. So that's kind of a cool deal to find out. And then, we talked about the transfer portal. Well, the first Razorback to enter it is Quentin Murphy. I know the Razorbacks were real happy to get him when they signed him out of Parkview. He went through 13 practices, and at least he didn't just skip practice. I guess he had either by Twitter or somehow he put it out there, and he didn't ask for more.
He had participated in 13 practices.
Yeah, and then decided
I'm guessing he wasn't happy where he was on the depth chart.
Yeah,
that's what I'm guessing.
Well, good luck. You're a kid just came out of high school, and you got all these transfer portal guys. And basically, a lot of them are one-year guys, and you could be still in high school before you graduate, and you decide you don't like the depth chart, so you're leaving. And, hey, every person gets a chance to do that, but what did he expect? To start?
Well, the other part that I think makes it difficult for Quentin is he was a quarterback at Parkview. They wanted him as a wide receiver at Arkansas. Then he ended up being a defensive back. And I can only imagine how difficult of a transition he's gone through. I mean, he tries to become a wide receiver. Oh, well, wait a minute, let's put you at defensive back. Let's look at you there. That's why I'm saying he's probably so buried on the depth chart that
I get that. If they moved him to defense and he didn't like that too, I get that. And of course, Arkansas probably did it because they need defensive backs.
Exactly.
What that'll happen is he'll leave, and you hate to see it. And I said that a little bit of sarcasm because you wouldn't expect to be a starter as a freshman. But if he does leave, then there's a guy that was a wide receiver that they've got plenty of, and now they need to go get a defensive back to replace him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where one way or the other, one way or the other, kids want to play. And if you just see the situation and you know that there's no chance, then I understand.
Well, this year, there's no chance this year. But it used to be a guy came as a freshman and didn't expect to play as a freshman. But that's changed. But here's the thing, and we've talked about this before.
But they don't have patience today with the transfer portal.
But we've talked about this before, how that's why coaches, if you've got a choice between a junior who's played 2 or 3 years of college football or a senior or an incoming freshman who just got out of high school, who are you going to play? And so the high school players who are signing today without any patience, they may not stick around very long. And we've seen that happen. Was it Trey Biddy said, was it 2 or 3 years, the class from 2 or 3 years ago, there's only 2 left? That was during the season last year.
Yeah,
because you're not patient enough as they bring in people at your position, and you figure out, well, gosh, those guys are, even if they're only there for a year. It happens in basketball. It's happening in every sport.
It happens every day. I thought you were going to say that where is Nico headed? It's funny.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't care. But
well, I printed 2 stories.
Yeah.
Here was the first headline. Pete Thamel reveals stance on Nico Imalava from teams in the NIL market. Quote, my God, no. When Pete Thamel contacted college coaches, this is that's what they were saying. Not only no, but my goodness, no. And now we're hearing that there is a deal done. In fact, it was interesting. He put Nico actually formally entered into the NCAA transfer portal, but then he had on there, and I've never seen the actual formal page, what it looks like when a player actually puts his name into the portal. But apparently, I guess there must be contact information. There must be other stuff, but I don't know if they have a box that's separate for this, but he had a do not contact tag on his. What? Do not contact me.
Really?
Well, I guess you have to formally put your name in. Well, okay, we go back to tampering. You got to believe this is
you think he's already got a school.
And that school appears to be UCLA. Now, did he not originally, out of high school, commit or was supposedly going to go to UCLA?
May have, but they wouldn't have given him as much money as Tennessee did. He's from California, but the point is UCLA now, they could have worked out a deal with him and said, hey, by the way, we only have $1 million now. Well, why would they pay if nobody else wants him? And then what's his option? To say, wait a minute, you promised me this. Well, yeah, but you promised you were going to stay at Tennessee for another year because they promised you $2.2 million. Well, we're sorry. Yeah, we still want you, but we'll give you $1 million, which is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
But why should UCLA pay him any more now?
This is the interesting part. His family, and I don't know who that means, whether or not that is the group that's advising him or if that's the actual mother, dad, etc. family, true family. Well, it's not about money. He wants to be closer to home, and he wants to be in a different offense than what he ran at Tennessee.
Good. Well, then he'll obviously take less money to play.
Yeah, he'll probably only take, maybe $25,000, something like that for the year.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So nevertheless, that may end that little saga for the time being, for what it's worth. But anyway, I wonder, and we're not going to get this comment, I wonder what his brother's thinking.
I hope his brother's happy at Arkansas and not thinking he needs to do something else. Hope so, but we don't know that.
I don't think he's got a track record right now that he can exactly trot out there.
No, but just like the guy that's leaving, he's not going to be a starter this year. Now, he's fighting for number 2, which is gives him a chance to play some this year.
You're talking about Quentin Murphy. Oh, no, you're talking about
the one that's at Arkansas.
Madden. Yeah, Madden. Eliviava, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, he and KJ Jackson are battling for the number 2 spot. Mm-hmm.
They're in a battle. Oh my goodness! They're already bringing out the food, Rick. I'm going to leave here weighing somewhere near the vicinity of 300 pounds, even though I'm probably really close to that right now.
I doubt that. Now, I know. Don't we have
Trey Lee is bringing the food out?
Do we have Trey Biddy at 4:30?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so after you do Neal at 4:30, if you need to break for a segment, Trey and I can take it while you eat if you want.
Woo!
We're happy to do that. And then you can put your Dixie Dust or whatever it is on there too.
My Dixie Dust.
Yeah, whatever that was.
My Willie Dust.
Your Willie Dust. That's right. That's right.
Not Dixie Dust.
Dixie Dust is a southern version of whatever Pixies have on Peter Pan.
Well, I thought Willie Dust was an outfielder for the Phillies.
He was great.
Yeah, really was.
Wow, those are spicy, too. I like that.
It's good.
Already off to a great start today here at Eat My Catfish.
Now, Kramer and I can take it for the rest of this segment if you want us to. I mean, we're happy to. We don't want to interrupt an absolutely scrumptious time for you.
Now, I'm going to give this one other teaser.
Yeah.
Every order, whether it's dine in or dine out or carry out, either way, enters you into 3 drawings. Grand prize being a live sack. I wonder if they come crawling out of the sack.
A live sack?
I hope that's a big sack. Is that like a toe sack or something?
I don't know, but I've never seen a sack come alive.
They got a big old sack.
It's amazing.
A live sack of fresh Louisiana crawfish. Can you see that those little pincher things they got? Woohoo! Yeah. I'm going to get you. You think you're going to eat me? No, I'm going to eat you. Anyway, grand prize being a live sack of fresh Louisiana crawfish.
How about a sack of live crawfish rather than a live sack? But I don't think you're going to have a live sack.
It says live sack of fresh Louisiana crawfish.
It's a sack.
There's going to be a sack full of live crawfish.
Yes, that's right. The sack is full of live crawfish. The sack is not alive.
Can we get a camera on Chuck the promo guy's face right now?
How do we know that this is not a live sack? That the sack can actually walk its way? the sack might actually walk its way into the parking lot.
I'd leave.
That could be.
And then
right.
and it's trailed by the fresh Louisiana crawfish.
So
make sure your back door's open.
The grocery where you go to in our neighborhoods, it's either Walmart or Harps. I know we have Edwards Food Giant in Central Arkansas, but I've used a lot of sacks and none of them have ever been alive.
I am reading this. I'm reading this just as it is.
And I'm being semantical with you. I'm sorry.
You're being way too technical right now, but that's okay. Every order, dine in or carry out, enters you into, it's not crayfish, it's crawfish.
Crawfish. Okay.
Enters you into 3 drawings. Right? Yeah. Because they're crawling out here. With the grand prize being a live sack. I love that. Live sack of fresh Louisiana crawfish. Okay. I'm sticking with the script. I am not changing it.
I'll bet you next time you're eating my catfish, they'll change the script.
I bet you the morning show is going to really enjoy this entire conversation out of context, too, guys.
Morning Madness, they take anything I say and twist it around. I can hear Roger tomorrow. You bet that live sack.
Sounds just like Roger. Man, do that again.
Okay, well, the catfish are not alive. I mean, they are fried. Yeah, so we know that. Good. We know the shrimp are not alive.
That's good.
They are fried. So we know that. It's not, they're not going to put live shrimp into that sack. They're not going to put live catfish into that sack.
Good.
So they're going to be ready to go.
Okay.
Man, I'm glad this is a sports talk program.
Is it though right now? It doesn't feel like one.
I thought that was one of 3 things they're doing. What else are they doing? I can't wait to hear the other 2.
Okay, let's see here. What else we got? Errol, he needs to give me the rest of the. I mean, you only gave me one prize. I need the other. She only gave me the grand prize.
Well, maybe so no. I need the other. Maybe the live sack is the first prize and the crawfish are the second.
What in the world is that? Oh my gosh, blackened catfish! Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Do you like tartar sauce with your catfish?
I like cocktail
this
sauce.
Is live
actually.
radio.
This is
you
live
like tartar
radio.
Sauce. That's great. I can't wait. Hey, by the way, for those who want to know, while Randy's eating catfish, Nolan Sousa is back with us today. Nolan Sousa is going to be on at 6:30, so we'll be happy to talk to him.
Get to that.
Yeah, right. Well, no, you
6:30.
You get the tartar sauce first and the Dixie dust, and then we'll talk to Nolan at 6:30.
It's not Dixie dust. It's Willie dust.
I know, it's Willie dust.
You're going to sell more of this. They want the Dixie dust, and there's not going to be any available.
Willie dust is what my parents would always say when I wasn't doing my chores.
I didn't really give.
The big question is Willie or won't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. I really didn't get a chance to give Kramer adequate time to – because we had to restructure everything today the way it basically worked out. But we have Trey Biddy from 4:30 until 5:30.
All right.
Then we have Bart Reid from 5:30 until 6. Then we'll have Richard Davenport at 6 o'clock to 6:30.
Yeah.
And then we have Nolan Sousa. Nolan let me know today that he is available. So we said, great, let's do it tonight.
Very good. I'm glad he's going to come back on with us. That's great.
So I was, I've just been standing by, so to speak, waiting.
Okay.
To find out when we could have him next. You kind of touched on this, and then you went right by it. You threw out the fact
the Willie dust?
You do this all the time. The Willie dust. Is Gage Wood. You notice I don't get distracted easily. Yeah, right. Gage Wood is going to be the Friday starter. Now,
because it's Thursday, Friday,
Gusty,
Saturday.
the weatherman.
So it's middle game.
What?
Saturday is the weather issue. Saturday's the weather issue. Friday is supposed to be, let's see, tomorrow's high is 79 degrees. Friday's high is 77. It's supposed to be supposed to be windy both days, but then Saturday. Now, again, I can't project when I'm looking ahead at what the time frame is because you got the spring football game too. But there is a, 90% chance of rain. The high is supposed to be 69. It's going to be a wet Easter weekend here. 90% Saturday, 80% Sunday. Temperatures go down. So Thursday night and Friday night should be fine. I don't know what they'll work out for Saturday baseball. You said yesterday on the show, either you or Kevin Bohannon, that Dave Van Horn does not like Friday doubleheaders. A Friday doubleheader may be the only way they get 3 games in this weekend. So we'll see.
Rick?
Yes?
Do you realize the live sack just showed up?
Really?
It walked its way from inside the store.
No kidding.
And it set itself down in the chair beside me.
You know,
and then there's these crawfish.
Yeah?
That
are they live too?
They are moving around.
Are they?
They have got some real – they've got some real big-time pinchers on them.
Okay, so the sack needs to walk over and put the crawfish in them since the sack is live.
The live sack could not hold the live crawfish.
No kidding.
Now, they are loose. I mean, they are I'm about to get an earring. I don't think, Travis, I really want that on my ear. I really think I think I've outgrown earrings.
This is
especially
great radio,
earrings.
isn't it? Man,
I feel like I'm having a fever dream, guys.
They're crawling on him. How about that? And he can't use the live sack to get rid of them.
If you see a live sack of crawfish going down Military Road, point it back this direction. Tell it, come on back to eat my catfish, because that's where they're supposed to be.
I'm telling you, Randy, I don't know what Eat My Catfish is paying, but they are getting their money's worth out of this show.
So far, it's just been half a hush puppy, it looks like.
There's just going to be a long line of cars that want to come in and see this live sack with crawfish crawling all over you.
Right there. Can you see that, Kramer? Can you see that on your screen?
That's exactly what a crawfish sack looks like.
Yeah. Can you see the ones that just crawl back in? They're wanting back out.
Maybe we should move to 6 in the morning. What do you think?
Drive time madness.
Oh, that music could not have happened at a better time.
There's the music.
Held out by the music.
Randy gets Steve's Willie dust.
Wait, Trey, wait. Just wait, Trey. You don't know what you're in store for. You're on Drive Time Sports being brought to you by Crain Hyundai and Genesis of Conway. Live from Eat My Catfish, Eat That Crawfish here on Military Road in Benton, right next to the AutoZone. Stay tuned.
Tune in to Out of Bounds each Monday for Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years, they're your small to mid-sized fleet specialists that also takes care of our fleet at Signal Media. Fleet Management Services is now hiring for Loop Tech, Tire Tech, and Light Maintenance. 8 paid holidays and paid vacation, paid health insurance, and 401k. Paid depends on experience and signing bonus. Apply in person at 901 East 8th Street in Little Rock.
Be sure and tune in each week when Bree Ellis joins Morning Mayhem, brought to you by the F.L. Davis family of Ace Hardware stores. Ace is a place for all of your hardware needs.
Fort Thompson's wants to help you get geared up for turkey season. Great selection of custom calls, ammo, shotguns, clothing, vests, and decoys. Plus, amazing prices on handguns and rifles. Check it out at ftthompson.com.
It's Justin Acree for CertaPro Painters, and CertaPro knows how important your home is to you. That's why they're focused on helping you bring fresh color to your home. You can trust CertaPro Painters to get the job done right, even in those hard-to-reach places. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting, all at the right price. And each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They're always easy, and they get you a quote right away. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at the D3 Auto Sales text line at 501-614-1037. D3 Auto Sales in Desart, the #1 independent dealer in the state with the best prices and largest selection on pre-owned vehicles, including leveled and lifted trucks. Find them on Facebook. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, from high school to the pros, hit us up on the D3 Auto Sales text line.
Clint Sterner here for Low T Center. Look, it's not if, it's when, fellas. Are you nearing 40 years old, running low on energy, lacking motivation? Low T Center's where it's at, man. Get started with testosterone replacement therapy today. It's time to get your TRT rolling and get back to being your best. It's convenient. Low T Center, they have clinics all over Arkansas, man. They're easy to get to and well worth the effort to make it happen. Walk in, see a real medical provider, and get a treatment plan that's customized specifically to you. You want to be treated in a clinic, or do you want to be treated at home? With Low T Center, you choose. The quality remains top notch. Right now's the time, fellas. April only, you can get a free consultation at Low T Center. If you qualify, treatment is covered by most major insurance. So, fellas, if you're feeling off, tired, no energy, moody, just not able to get it done, now's the time. I was there, man. Low T Center changed the game for me. If you need to lose a little weight, Low T has you covered there as well with prescription weight loss options. Don't wait, fellas. Now's the time. Get back to living your best life. Your family deserves it. You deserve it. Low T Center can make it happen. Go to lowtcenter.com right now to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Simple, quick, and no doubt worth it.
Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. Your pool and spa chemical headquarters. Great rebates going on now with Pool Life and Bacosil Pool Chemicals. They also carry Sharona Spa Chemicals and Frog Systems. You can always bring in a pool or spa water sample, and the chemically trained professionals at Luxury Pool and Spa will ensure your chemicals are at the correct levels. They also carry Pentair pool equipment, patio furniture by Fisco, PK Grills, and plenty of pool toys. Live the life of luxury with Luxury Pool and Spa. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
Justin and DJ are taking the zone up the road to Jacksonville, just off the James Street exit to Gwatney Chevrolet, broadcasting live this Friday. Stop by and see how James and the crew can help with your next vehicle purchase. The Zone at Gwatney Chevrolet on 103.7 The Buzz.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, you feed your crave for sports by listening to Drive Time Sports. Much like you feed your crave at any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
Hey, Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer. I had to swallow. I'm sorry. I just had some of that blackened shrimp there, including those live crawfish that have been walking around while we were during the break. But we are joined now by Neal Atkinson by way of Bet Saracen. Neal, have you ever seen a live sack before?
Absolutely. I mean, I spent 8 years, my last 20 years in Mississippi, and a lot of it in Southern, and a lot of our chefs around here have some New Orleans background. So, absolutely.
It's got LSU colors, which I don't know if that was the intent or not, but it is a purple sack, and it's live because it's been walking around all during the break. And just so happens there were a couple of crawfish, and Travis tried to walk over and put one on my ear to give me a crawfish earring, and I gracefully declined. So anyway, thank you, Eat My Catfish, here on Military Road in beautiful Benton. What is going on with Bet Saracen besides a live sack of crawfish?
Well, we're working on the odds for the live crawfish race later on tonight, but I don't know if I'll get them up in time. But in the meantime, you can bet the NBA play-in tournament. So you got to. I stuck into it. Sorry. You got the Heat, the Bulls. The Bulls are favored by 1.5 tonight in the play-in tournament, and then after that, for the nightcap, you got the Mavericks playing the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings are a 4.5-point favorite. Also, while we're talking NBA, make sure you check the promos. Look at your championship protection promo that we have. Now, these don't count the play-in games, but if you pick the winner of of the tournament and pick the future bet on the outright winner. And if your team wins, you will get extra money for every game they win during the playoffs. Remember, some of those can go to 7 games. So there's a lot of opportunity there, too. And also, our very, very popular Parlay Bonus Club is up and running. That's doing what most of our players do all the time, betting 14-leg parlays weekly. And based on how much you bet during the week is you'll get free play back on the following Monday. And the lowest tiers, you bet 50, you get 25. You would not believe how many people that bet $500 on parlays during the week and are getting $100 in free bets in their accounts every Monday when they opt in for the club.
Outstanding. So we'll have up very soon. That is Bet Saracen will have it very soon. Not only to double our props for the Texas A&M game, but there will be, is that been established yet, the line on that particular game?
No, that line has not been out yet. Been looking for it, but it will either come out later tonight or first thing in the morning because this is a Thursday through Saturday series this week. So looking forward to that.
I had to remind myself once again it was a Thursday start, and I was kind of caught unprepared. So my apology there. All right, Neal, where can we find this good stuff?
Hey, go to betsaracen.com on the web or from your phone. Just go to your app store and type in Bet Saracen. If you have not downloaded the app and have an account before, make sure when you hit that registration button, you type in the welcome code. We're giving new players, once they make their first $25 bet and it settles, we're giving you $125 in bonus bets, no strings attached. So enjoy that, and good luck on all your parlays and on your NBA picks this week.
All right, Neal, we'll talk with you tomorrow. That is Neal Atkinson by way of Bet Saracen.
Trey Biddy is brought to you by Crain Hyundai, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer, and Genesis of Conway, Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today. Now, here's Trey Biddy.
Good afternoon, Trey.
Hey, guys.
What a day. What a day. We're off to a rousing start here today on Drive Time Sports.
Yep.
And if you would, catch us up on what is going on with the Arkansas football Razorbacks. Now, we do know there has been already one player who has put his name in the transfer portal. Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he go through 13 practices? And we're talking about Quentin Murphy.
Yeah, Quentin Murphy. Sam Pittman said yesterday that they have 85 on scholarship. I count them at 86. And I'm pretty sure Quentin was there yesterday. But so I don't know if he was talking about him. But, so that would I've got him at 85 right now. Maybe Pittman has him at 84. But, yeah, Quentin Murphy is the first Razorback in this late portal season to hit the transfer portal. And for those who don't know, it opened up today. So it runs April 16th through the 25th. So it's just a 10-day window. That doesn't mean you can't get out of the portal after that. It just means you can't go into the portal after that window unless you're a grad transfer or something like that. So, Quentin Murphy's number one. Arkansas has had a pretty bad run out of Parkview, I can tell you that. So far, a lot's on Cam Settles' shoulders right now, the running back out of Parkview. But you've lost Quentin Murphy. You did not get Omarion Robinson, who was the top recruit out of Parkview this year. Aaron Outley busted at Arkansas. Not sure where he ended up. He never really came back from that knee injury. James Jointer, I think he ended up transferring to Liberty after he went to Arkansas. Landon Rogers didn't pan out at Arkansas, came to the school as a quarterback, moved to wide receiver, ended up transferring out. So there's a long list now of Parkview players that, you don't see like schools produce a whole lot like Parkview does, but it's been one guy after another that just hasn't panned out. And then, one of the best guys, Omarion Robinson, they didn't even get to campus. He went to Oklahoma. So, lots resting on Cam Settles' shoulders to turn that narrative around.
All right, we know at least it's temporarily, I say temporarily, right now it's still scheduled 1 o'clock, the red-white game. Mm-hmm. Mother Nature may be playing tricks again with the weather for this red-white game. Coach Pittman more or less indicated, Trey, they're not going to move inside to the Walker Pavilion. If it is inclement weather, whether it be lightning, whatever it may be, all indications they'll move it in, I guess, inside the stadium. And then it becomes basically an autograph session and a meet and greet with the current football team.
Yeah. Yeah, which I will skip out on if that's what it comes down to. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of interested fans that would attend that. But, yeah, that would be disappointing. Right now, I mean, we're, 4 days out from that. I don't understand how 4 days out you can list 100% chance of rain.
No,
but
85.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at
yeah.
I'm looking at mine. I mean, I guess it depends on where you're looking.
Yeah.
This says 12 o'clock through 6 o'clock, 100% chance that it will rain and thunderstorm.
Goodness.
On this particular app on WeatherBug. So I don't know who they're associated with exactly, but yeah. And I don't blame them for not moving it inside. I mean, they haven't had a whole lot of success inside. I mean, I believe the last time they moved it inside a few years ago, Torian Robinson had a torn ACL. And then the time they moved it in before that, Raleigh Williams had the second neck injury and ended his career. But it's too many people in there. They try to bring in, parents and other people kind of creep in, and it's too much. So I would make up the practice if they have a time to do that. There is a certain amount of time that they have from the start of spring practice to the end of it where they have to wrap things up. So it sounds like they might just not do anything at all if they have to cancel the practice.
Probably don't they schedule recruiting visits? And they might have a lot of that kind of stuff organized to start it on Monday where they wouldn't be able to do another practice.
Well, and also focusing on the portal, and they're going to take a week to sit back while the portal is open. So it'll open for the next few days, and then they'll have another week before they even go out to do visits with recruits and stuff. So and that's important. They need to make sure that they maximize this 10-day window and get the best players, and also make sure that they keep the guys on their roster that they want to keep as well. And they have to have some guys leave. Sam Pittman said yesterday that they'd like to bring in 5. Well, they're at 85 now, so they've got to have 5 more go.
Trey, this one from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. This says, missed on the Parkview players, but how about the Warren wide receiver? Could Antonio Jordan get playing time this year?
They seem to like him every time we've brought his name up in press conferences, whether it be Bobby Petrino or with Sam Pittman. They really rave about him. So, yeah, there's a possibility. 6'6", 230 pounds. He might have another position in his future, maybe tight end. We'll see when he gets here. But, Warren has done a good job for Arkansas. There was a time when, all the best Warren players went out of state, but Warren has been a lot of the guys who come from Warren end up, being really good players at Arkansas. So hopefully he'll be the next one.
The format was pretty much, if there is a red-white game, pretty much laid out, Trey. It's going to be first team going up against second team. Is that the way I understood it? First team versus second team.
And that's pretty standard with how Sam Pittman has done it in the past. They'll do 15-minute quarters the first half, and then they'll do 2 15-minute quarters in the second half, but the clock will be running continuously. And they did some scrimmaging yesterday with the third team. They got some, because in the scrimmage Saturday they only ran 101 plays, which is a little lower than, probably normal. But they did not do any third team work aside from rotating guys in here and there with the second team, like Madden Iamaliava and some other key players. But they did a good bit of third team live scrimmaging yesterday. They were in full pads in the practice fields.
Did I just miss it, or was there not you usually give a depth chart. I guess that's the way that you would say it. I didn't see one from yesterday's practice. Did I just miss it?
No, it was out. We did one. We've done one for, I think, every one of them, but you might have missed it just because there has been quite a bit of news that might have pushed it down a little bit. But, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We put it out 23 hours ago.
So any changes that you could see on there that kind of differs with what we've been looking at for quite some time?
Well,
oh, that's a deep subject.
Why don't you hold that?
The music's whole playing,
Yeah,
so hang
yeah. Hold that thought, Trey. All right, Rick Schaeffer. I'm Randy Rainwater. Eat my catfish. Military Road here in Benton. Trey Biddy, hogsports.com. Drive Time Sports will continue.
Hotline on 103.7 The Buzz is presented by Jim's Razorback Pizza with 2 locations, Highway 10 past Taylor Loop and just off the Morgan Maumelle exit.
Do wings your way at Slim Chickens. We're talking perfectly fried bone-in wings. Choose from 10 different flavors, like our Cayenne Ranch Dry Rub or Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Always delicious for lunch or dinner. And if you need to feed a hungry crowd, Slim's has you covered, with party trays that are perfect for the big game. No matter who you are, be bold and find your flavor at Slim Chickens. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
The leader in sportsbook apps in the state of Arkansas, Bet Saracen, has a club you might want to consider joining. It's the perfect offer for you if you like to play parlays. Head over to the Bet Saracen app, opt in, and get all the details on how to earn bonus cash with the Parlay Bonus Club. It's active through June, and it could be the key to stacks of sportsbook bonus cash. The Parlay Bonus Club on the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, folks. It's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge here in Sherwood, and I've got big news for April. Don't worry about the tariffs because we don't have any tariff merchandise at Fletcher Dodge. I've got some great offers, so I hope you'll listen up to these great values. Here's a big one, $14,000 off on new Ram pickups. Yes, I did say $14,000 off, and when you come see us, we don't have any fluffed up MSRPs. That's off the real MSRP. Also, you can have at your choice. You can have 1.9% financing for 72 months. Wow, $14,000 or 1.9% financing for 72 months. Our Jeep sale was a huge success, so we're going to extend it through April. Listen up to this. Save $6,500 on new Wranglers and get our new Jeep Compass as low as $25,995. We're having a big sale also on our pre-owned. This is something we've never done before. Buy a used car and get a certified warranty at no extra charge. Come see us at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood or shop us online at FletcherDeals.com.
When you do something for over 45 years, you get really good at it. Like Alan here. He's been making balloon figures for over 45 years. Using his nimble fingers, he can shape a working metal detector, a full-size replica of the Statue of Liberty, even a brontosaurus. Amazingly lifelike Alan. We're a lot like Alan making balloon figures, except we do it with insurance. Williamson Insurance, protecting your business and your family for over 45 years.
If you already scheduled your garage door tune-up for just $79, please disregard this message. If you don't have a garage door, you're off the hook. For the rest of you, why would you spend more than just $79? Overhead Door Company of Little Rock will perform their garage door tune-up and safety inspection for just $79 on up to 3 garage doors and openers. Call 501-510-6399 or schedule online, overheaddooroflittlerock.com.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where there's only one thing Randy and Rick like better than talking sports, and that's biting into some fresh crawfish with all the fixins at any Eat My Catfish location. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
We have said for a long time that it's gas it, grab it, and go at Double B's. No, we want you to go inside. That's where all the fun is. That's where all the good stuff is. If you go by the Double B's delis, now you'll find all those great pizzas, that Chester's chicken, and they have always the great drink specials. Stopped in at Double B's before I came down to Benton today to pick up some drinks. Needed some drinks while we were here. Get that core hydration water, 2 for $5. So take the time. Always go inside. Check out all the great specials you'll find each and every day at your local Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. Make it Double B's. As we mentioned, we are so excited to have Trey with us for these next, not quite, what is it now, 45 minutes. So if you have a question or comment for Trey, 371, or make that 661-1037, and let's do this.
And now, Trey Biddy is brought to you by Chris Crain Hyundai, Arkansas's.
All right, let's try it again.
And now, Trey Biddy is brought to you by Chris Crain Hyundai, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer, and Genesis of Conway, Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today. Now, here's Trey Biddy.
Let's double the fun. Let's have 2 intros for Trey. All right, Trey, we were talking about the depth chart and if there were any possible changes that may have occurred between, I guess, over the last couple of days, because I kind of threw this in the other day because this was in the fastball starts, and we know what the fastball starts mean. That doesn't mean exactly that this is the way the actual depth chart would play itself out, but like Blake Boda the other day took second-team snaps in the fastball. So any changes that you see with the depth chart?
Oh, I didn't mean to make some drama. I was just checking to see if Quentin Murphy was in the depth chart anywhere at cornerback, because I know he was one day, but he was not. So I don't see. I'm looking through it right now. There's nothing that jumps out as significant. With that, obviously, you've got Mike Washington as a starting running back because we know that Braylon Russell is out, and I've kind of quit going with just the fastball and go lean a little bit more on, how they actually go when they're in team. Like yesterday, they didn't do fastball at all. This is just from the team session, just because, I don't want people to get confused that Blake Boda is the second-string quarterback, because he's not. It's KJ Jackson, and then it's Madden Iamaleava. Blake Boda is somewhere, battling for the fourth, or, with Grayson Wilson. So, but no, I don't think there's anything significant, but that's the only reason I was like, well, because I know that Quentin Murphy one day was on the step chart, but he was not on there yesterday. So he may not have been out there at all yesterday.
I think you went through, again, 13 practices, so you hate to see a young man move on that quickly. But
where are you saying that he went through 13?
I had read that he had gone through 13 practices.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they had 13 practice. Practice 13 was yesterday. So if he went through practice yesterday, then he's gone through 13.
And he probably did because the transfer portal doesn't open until today. And that way he wasn't pulling a Tennessee quarterback. He at least went to practice and before he made his announcement.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just guessing that way he didn't put the decision on Arkansas to get rid of him. That gave him a chance to enter the transfer portal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that Quentin Murphy, he might have had a career down the road, but he wasn't going to play a significant role this year just based on, how things have shaken out and stuff. So maybe that frees up a spot because we actually had him listed. I went back and updated the scholarship distribution report, and we had him listed at wide receiver, which we know that they needed some wide receivers to go. So now they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got them with 12 wide receivers right now. Still could use a little bit more room really at that spot, but he was actually playing defensive back. I don't know if that played into a reason that he transferred because he was lining up at defensive back or not. I don't know exactly why he decided to leave, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That gives them 9 cornerbacks and 8 safeties right now. You really need I think the number is about 18 defensive backs when you consider safety, cornerback, and nickel. I think that's a good, healthy number to have.
Trey, this brings back to what Randy and I were talking about in the first half hour. As you're bringing in guys who are juniors and seniors who have played college football, a freshman. Here's a guy that hadn't. I mean, he still could be in high school this spring. He came in early. Mm-hmm. Those type of players, if they recognize they need to be patient, they're going to be okay. But if not, that it's going to be more and more difficult for them, is it not, for these high school freshmen who college freshmen who are high school seniors, if they don't play right away, because most of them won't.
Is it going to be more difficult for them
to find playing time, or again, they've got to come with some patience, knowing that they're probably not going to start right away?
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, and who knows exactly where this was coming from? Maybe he wanted to move back to wide receiver, and they didn't feel like that was a spot for him. And who knows exactly? I don't know why he transferred. Just know that he has. I mean, I've got 12 stories in our admin right now that are what we call shells, that are just like ready to go in case somebody transfers. And just pick who I
really?
Think. Well, yeah. I mean, the 12 most likely players to commit, I have stories written on all those guys right now, just ready to go. And now they're not going to have 12 leave, hopefully, but you just have to be ready in this day and age to. When the news breaks. So it feels weird writing those stories, because some of those guys will not transfer. But we try to, we get ahead of things and just have, not just for transfer portal, but for anything that, we could see happening. We have those stories ready to go. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't know why he left exactly. It could have just been like different thoughts on how he thought he was going to be used, or, just not happy, or maybe he's not playing as early as he thought he might play, all those kinds of things. But I don't know how many of these offers were legit committable, but he does have a pretty, he was extensively recruited. There's, a couple dozen Power 5 schools that he lists as offers. So.
All right, Trey, what remaining positions are still up for grabs? This may be too close to the top of the hour for you to answer that, but let's just say that the spring game does not happen. What happens to those battles? Because I would think this Saturday would have helped determine maybe the ultimate pecking order, the depth chart going into the fall.
Yeah, I think the last scrimmage that they had, I think that's probably a bigger one for them to tell those types of things. At quarterback, I think you still have a competition for who is your backup. Now, if Taylon Green came out, or the game got out of hand one way or another, I think it would be KJ Jackson. But if there was something, a long-term issue, whether it's Taylon being benched or an injury or something, I could absolutely see them turning to Madden Iamaleava. I think he is super talented. So that would be maybe a position to watch, but I think if it's just like mop-up duty after a game, then you're probably going to see KJ Jackson. At running back, I think that there's some competition between Mike Washington and Braylon Russell. Obviously, Braylon Russell is going to miss some time with a sprained MCL. But, I think that's good competition right there. And really also for the third back, Rodney Hill or
AJ Green.
AJ Green, yeah, one of those two guys. At wide receiver, I think they're getting a little bit more settled. I hear the music, but I think they're getting a little bit more settled. Omega Blake, Raylan Sharp, Ismail CC. Monte Harrison will still have a say. Cam Shanks would still have a say, but I think those are the top three wide receivers right now. We can continue on.
We've got more room to cover. We'll do that when we get back. That is Trey Biddy, hogsports.com, being brought to you by Chris Crain, Hyundai, and Genesis of Conway. Stay tuned.
Spring has sprung, and over at Guadney Buick GMC in North Little Rock, the truck inventory is in full bloom. During the month of April, Guadney Buick GMC is offering their own version of Daylight Savings. It's the perfect time to trade because your current truck value has sprung forward, and Guadney's prices have rolled back. Right now, you can trade up to a brand new 2025 GMC Sierra Crew Cab and save up to $13,500 off MSRP. So set your watch to save during Guatney Buick GMC's Daylight Savings. Like the real Daylight Savings, these deals aren't permanent, so now is the time to trade. Interest rates are as low as 0.9%, meaning we can lower your truck payment on a brand new 2025 GMC Sierra Crew Cab starting at just $479 a month. Give us a call at 945-4444 and schedule a test drive of the latest trucks available from GMC. Guatney Buick GMC, next to Sam's in North Little Rock. GMC, we are professional grade.
Catch the buzz on all our social media platforms, presented by Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. They're your pool and spa chemical headquarters. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
It's where the big boys come to play.
This is madness. This is Sparta.
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
A new bill signed into law would require the Arkansas Department of Education to establish an accountability system for public schools. Schools and districts will be assigned letter grades, A through F, based on student performance in new benchmark categories. The new system will focus on the Atlas standardized testing results. It'll factor into the letter grade given to the schools later this summer for this current school year. Amazon says it is bringing yet another major distribution center to the Little Rock Port Authority. The move will bring hundreds of new jobs to Central Arkansas. Not all the specifics have been verified, like the size of the facility and just how much of an investment Amazon is making here. But we do know the Port Authority is selling about 107 acres to the company. The groundbreaking for the new site is set for July. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888 for Rainwater, Holton, Sexton. They'll help you weather the storm.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
It looks like a really nice Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 76 degrees and a south wind of 5 to 10. Tonight, partly cloudy, will drop down to 56. Tomorrow, much warmer, 84 the high, partly cloudy sky, and pretty windy too. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
What's going on, everyone? DJ Williams here with The Zone, and we're going to be on the road. That is right, UAMS Ortho Now. We're very excited to check out that new location. Dr. O'Malley, you always talk to him. We're going to go to his spot this time. Also, Dr. Larry Barnes is going to join us on The Zone, so come by, hang out with us. Always appreciate it. It's going to be from 10 to 1, but as always, we still got your entertainment report. That's thanks to our friends over there at Bell and Sword, and birthday trivia. Ooh, can DJ, third person, go for the three-peat. Guess you get to tune in. The Zone, where sports and entertainment crashing together.
Welcome to Moe's. Hey guys, this is Brandon with Moe's Southwest Grill. We welcome you in for the freshest Tex-Mex you'll find outside of your own garden. Check us out on Moe Mondays, where we have bowls and burritos starting at $7.99. And remember, your kids always eat free with us on Sundays. Let Moe's cater your next event. Schedule online at Moe's.com. And while you're there, download our app for weekly specials. Stop by anytime, where you'll always get the freshest Tex-Mex, and you'll always hear us say, welcome to Moe's.
This is Justin Acree with some exciting news. UAMS Ortho Now is now open at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. If you have an orthopedic injury, sports, work, or anything else, walk in and get the best in orthopedic care. No appointment needed. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. Conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674.
Hello, Buzz listeners. It's Chris Zender here at Frank Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Sherwood, and I've got some big news. We aren't participating in any tariff price hikes. That's right, no bogus markups at Fletcher Dodge. Now, here's some really big news. Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram just announced factory employee pricing. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no tricks, just real savings. These are the best deals we've seen all year. New Ram trucks up to $14,000 off, or you can get 1.9% for 72 months. New Grand Cherokees with third row seating and sunroofs. Also, four-wheel drive, priced under $40,000. New Wranglers up to $9,000 off. And the all-new Jeep Compass for only $359 a month. Folks, we're making deals every day like it's the last day of the month. At Fletcher Dodge, you always get the best price, the lowest finance rate, and more for your trade. We also promise you a hassle-free buying experience. We want to be your dealer for life. It's Ram Truck Month. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Come see us in person at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood, or shop online at FletcherDeals.com.
If you're like a lot of people I know, you're spending a lot of time at home this year watching basketball and other sports, and your home's your happy place. You may be noticing, though, the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, and that can drive you crazy. That's where CertaPro can help with a paint refresh. They can make your experience worry-free, starting with a free estimate. They're always easy, and they get you a quote right away. Schedule your estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. And each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, if it doesn't involve fast horses, daily doubles, high fives, and corned beef sandwiches, you may be doing it wrong. Every weekend through May 3rd, Oaklawn has live thoroughbred racing. Whether your Oaklawn is cheering from the home stretch, dining in the Bugler restaurant, or raising a glass at the First Turn bar, your race day is whatever you want it to be. Make reservations today at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Illegal dumps are crime scenes. Dumps affect every community in Pulaski County. They're public health hazards, decrease property values, and discourage economic development. What you also need to know is illegal dumps are against the law and makes those who do the dumping public enemies. Arkansas law states if you have knowledge of an illegal dump, whether on public or private property, you may file a complaint. At the Regional Recycling District, we say you should file a complaint. To file an illegal dump complaint, all you need to do is go to reportdumping.com. At reportdumping.com, all information is kept strictly confidential, and those the complaint has been filed against can be subject to a court order or judgment. Do yourself and your community a favor. Report illegal dumps at reportdumping.com.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 caller-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Hour number 2 of Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer standing by in Northwest Arkansas. I'm Randy Rainwater from the capital city, but today we're here in Benton for the Eat My Catfish opportunity. And let's do this.
And now, Trey Biddy is brought to you by Crain Hyundai, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer, and Genesis of Conway, Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today. Now, here's Trey Biddy.
Trey, we had, I guess you can say a good time with this earlier. We have a great giveaway going on right now here at the Eat My Catfish location in Benton, and that is every order, dine in or carry out, enters you into 3 drawings. The grand prize is being a sack of live, fresh Louisiana crawfish. We actually, when I read it originally, of course, Rick was quick to point out that he hasn't seen, and I actually had the crawfish walk around with this bag that they're in. And in fact, there's a couple of crawfish that are crawling around right now. But so the way that I read that, the grand prize being a live sack of fresh Louisiana crawfish. And Rick didn't believe that sack could be alive. So every time that you order, whether it be dine in or carry out, that enters you into these 3 drawings. And the ultimate is a 3-pound bag. That looks bigger than 3 pounds to me. But anyway, fresh Louisiana crawfish. So, and the deal today, exclusive to the Benton area only, is 3 pounds of crawfish for just $20. So And then Rick has tried to make this into Dixie dust when it is Willie's dust, and that is Cajun seasoning, and that also is for sale. I didn't get to try any of that on my blackened catfish or anything else that I had to eat. That, Rick, I did manage to, enjoy it during the break. So
good, great.
Here we are.
Glad you did.
You're
Now
also
we're ready to go.
a lot more delicate on saying everything, so there's nothing out of context this time.
I read it the way it was on the paper. I'll just leave it at that. This one, Trey, for you before we get back to analyzing what we think is the true depth chart. This from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. Adam from Monticello wants to know if I'd ask Trey, is Crutchfield playing during the spring, and how is this progress going?
I'm not sure how to answer it.
Okay.
I think that's enough said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You want me to keep talking? You're going to say that's enough said? You want me to talk some more?
We read what you were saying. We read it.
That's right.
Who was that? Oh, that was Wyatt Simmons. When I asked about him, that was about as awkward at that time, which we didn't quite put two and two together, which we now can put two and two together. That when Trey answers that way, let's move on. So let's move on back to the wide receiver position.
Yeah, wide receiver overall. I mean, I think they've got the right three in there. Omega Blake has really started to come on more and more as practice. Ismail Cece has kind of been there the whole time, Raylan Sharp too. But your top six are those three, Cece, Sharp, Omega Blake, Monte Harrison, Cross Johnson probably, or Cam Shanks, and I feel like I'm leaving. Oh, C.J. Brown. That's probably your seven right now. And that's, you probably travel, 8, something like that, wide receivers. And I expect to see some movement at that position. I mean, you've got 12 guys on the team right now at wide receiver, so that's too many. So I would expect to see some movement at that position group. On the offensive line, I think they're pretty well settled. Eventually, it's going. I've said this before. It's going to be Shaq McCrory at right tackle. I think it's going to be a Marion Harris at right guard. It could also be Keyshawn Blackstock, maybe Kobe Branham when he gets back from injury. That is the spot that I think you see the most unknown, that right guard spot, because there are some candidates there. But I think it's going to end up being Shaq at right tackle. Obviously, left tackle is Corey Robinson, left guard Fernando Carmona, center Caden Kittler, and then right guard, right tackle. So there's still some competition there. I think the second group is, aside from who ends up being the right guard, is fairly well settled. I've said before, the improvement from last year's offensive line to this year's offensive line, I think, is notable. The improvement from last year's second-team offensive line to this year's second-team offensive line, I think, is dramatic. I think it's dramatically better with the second group. I think there's some guys with futures on the second group on the offensive line. So that's really, I think, a real testament to Eric Mateos. I don't think that he inherited a very good situation, with what Cody Kennedy had recruited at the position and, brought in through the transfer portal and such. But to have that much turnover, I mean, guys, let me bring it up real quick. So offensive line, this is the turnover that they've had. Here we go. Addison Nichols transferred out. Joshua Braun transferred out. Patrick Kudus transferred out. Tykeist Crawford transferred out. Amari Wiggins transferred out. Luke Brown took a medical hardship, and Josh Street moved on. I believe he's in coaching now. That's 7 guys from last year's offensive line that aren't with the team anymore that had eligibility remaining to come back. So I think that's pretty crazy when you think about, all the guys that they brought in. They bring in 5 and then also brought in Bubba Craig. So 15 is the low end of where you want to be on the offensive line. I think 16 is the ideal number, but 15, to have 15 and guys that you look at and say, this guy could be a future starter, like like Bubba Craig, like Kavion Browsard, and they like those freshmen, Blake Cherry, Cash Courtney. Lionel Prudhomme hadn't enrolled yet, so he's the only one that hasn't enrolled yet. So that's been a lot of turnover, but I think it's a much better group. Defensive end, I've said before, if they don't get any other player in the transfer portal, go get a defensive end. It seems like that there are guys popping up. We'll see how everything tracks there, but to me that they're worse on the defensive line right now than they were last year, and a big part of that is because they don't have what I think is a starting defensive end. I think Charlie Collins can be that one day. I just don't know that he's that right now. But even if he is, you still need more at defensive end than what they have. Like if Quincy Rhodes were to miss some time with an injury or something, it's a really sketchy group. I mean, it just not a great group. Defensive tackle, they have 4. I've been really impressed with how far Danny Saili has come along. Obviously, Cam Ball has missed the entire spring after having elbow surgery, but Cam Ball is a guy that I think has potential maybe at the next level. Ian Gerford is another guy that, has come on. He needs to drop a little bit more weight, but, he's a guy that can play. And then David Oakey, they've worked David Oakey inside and outside. I don't look at David Oakey and say that's a guy that's going to have 64 tackles again this year like he did last year at Abilene Christian, but he's a guy that can help them. I would like to see them add another defensive tackle, though. No question about it. I think that there might be guys out there, but that would be, to me, the 2 areas that I want to see additions. I want to see a defensive end first and foremost, and then next I want to see a defensive tackle, potentially a veteran linebacker also. They have Steven Dix. They have Xavier Sori. Bradley Shaw is a guy that's really playing well right now. But, after that, Wyatt Simmons, who missed some time, as we talked about, with a hamstring injury, weren't able to talk about it until they did. But, Tavian Wallace, those are, you're getting pretty young with that backup group and Justin Logan also. But with the transfer portal age, you can go out and get an older G5 linebacker who's had 100 tackles in his career, who's looking to prove himself on the SEC level. I think, Anthony Switzer was that last year, Antonio Greer the year before. Maybe you would say Steven Dix was that. He was at Marshall for a year after he transferred out of Florida State. You did have some attrition, obviously. Carson Dean I didn't think was going to play here. Caden Henley I didn't think was going to play here. Alex Sanford, probably maybe a little bit better than those other 2, but still wasn't ever going to be like a major contributor. The guy that they lost was Brad Spence, who, from what I've heard, just got a ridiculous amount of money from Texas that, Arkansas just wasn't willing to match. But, that's the Brad Spence deal. But if they had Brad Spence back, I'd feel really, really good about that linebacker core. I already feel pretty good about it, and I think that they have some guys with some potential. It's just you don't want to hope anymore. You don't want to hope that you've got the guys, you know what I mean? Like when you can go get proven players or, in the transfer portal. So cornerback probably could use a guy. I think Selman Bridges is going to be pretty good. I think Keyshawn Davila, I think they have a chance to have some, quality players there. I'm not saying like they've got a bunch of NFL guys, but Jordan Young has played a lot of football. He was out all spring, but he started at Cincinnati, a multi-year guy. Kenai Walker started at Oklahoma last year. So that's notable. And, Jaheim Singletary's back, who's, hasn't lived up to what we thought he was going to be when he was a 5-star recruit. But I don't know if from a number standpoint, I don't look at cornerback and say they've got to get a corner. If there's a guy out there who could start for you, then he's probably going to cost a good bit of money. And you have to decide where you're going to spend your money. And to me, you spend it on an end. It'd be great to have a shutdown cornerback, but you got to spend it on an end. And then safety, the numbers aren't quite right. If you can go out and find a guy who could start for you, I think that would be obviously a benefit. I've liked what I've seen from guys. I don't know that I look out there and say, this guy is an all SEC player. Maybe Larry Worth. Maybe Larry Worth would be that guy. But to me, you've got Quintavious Scandrett, Larry Worth, Caleb Wooden, Miguel Mitchell. You've got 4 safeties, in my opinion, that really for 3 spots. You've got J.J. Shelton, who's done some good things. He's a linebacker playing nickel. He's not a safety. To me, you need a little boost there with the numbers. You need another guy. If you can find a guy that can start for you, that would be great to get a safety like that. It's not as dire. I know people are saying, what are you talking about, Trey? This defense was last in pass defense in the SEC last year. And I know that. I think that they could be better off there than they are at defensive end right now. So, like, if I'm looking at it and I'm saying, how much money do they have after so much turnover and bringing in, 22 transfers now? To me, defensive ends cost a lot of money. And Travis Williams put it right. It's, if you look at the NFL, who are the players that are getting drafted early? Who are the players that are demanding a lot of money? Defensive ends, left tackles, quarterbacks. So if you want a defensive end, it's going to cost you.
So, Trey, now that you said that, would you guesstimate what would be the cost of a corner? What would be the cost of a defensive end?
For what kind of corner? A guy that's
a really
better?
Good one. Yeah, a good one.
Yeah, how about a shutdown?
A shutdown? $500,000. A shutdown corner? $500,000. Because it's going to be bidding wars. Like, there's teams that have identified where they need help, and you don't have as many guys in the April transfer portal window. It's at least going to cost you $350 at minimum. Would be $350. An edge, an edge like they would need, I would think that's going to be pretty expensive. I would think.
So is a defensive end, is that in the same price range?
Now, if you want a good cornerback, like a good player who can go out there and compete, I'm thinking 300, maybe more than that. A good defensive end, probably 400. A great one, a great player, you're getting up there. Like, these are going to be bidding wars for these players. And we're in the last year of the Wild West. I think we are. We could, there's teams that are going to figure out loopholes. The bag man's probably going to come back into play in some kind of capacity too. All of those types of things. But hopefully we move to this revenue sharing model where I think Arkansas is going to have around 13 plus million, probably around 65% of the allotted 22%. From the average, revenue, I'm going to confuse people on it. $20.5 million. Okay. I think football is going to have around 13 something. And then, hopefully these NIL deals become much more legitimate. I mean, as I've said before, name, image, and likeness means, hey, this guy can help us, get clients for our law practice. Not, hey, this guy can help us win football games if we, also make him, a spokesperson for our law firm. That's not what it's supposed to be. There will still obviously be a good bit of that, but it's going to have to be hopefully legitimate. And I don't know, there could be lawsuits, all kinds of stuff. Who knows? But, name, image, and you can't tell an NFL player, hey, you can only make this much money outside of our organization. You can't do that. But the difference with NFL players is, whatever X soft drink is paying them to move soft drinks, not to win games for the Bengals. In college, they're, paying players to come to their school, to transfer into their school. I mean, it's crazy that we're calling it name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, and the pros are also locked into contracts. They can't just say, I don't like it here, I'm going somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's those issues too. I mean, there are college teams out there, and I think Arkansas is one of them that do, that have buyouts in these deals. I think that sometimes when you see maybe a guy waiting to enter the transfer portal, why do you enter the transfer portal so late? Well, maybe that's when his deal runs out. But obviously they can easily get out, and it's not like pay back all your money. But there are little stipulations in some of these deals that we're seeing around the country that include buyouts, whether it's 25% or 50% or whatever.
Let's talk with Chris. Chris, good afternoon. You got a question or comment for Trey?
Yeah, I can kind of remember. Hey, how y'all doing, guys? I can remember a few years ago, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, we had the Hayden Henry and the Bo Morgan was his name, and the linebackers, we had the 4 of them. And we had the same conversation, Bo Morgan, about the defensive end. They kind of transitioned to more like a 3-4 like defense.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe, I don't know about this, his philosophy and all that, but do you think if they get like that, then you would obviously have more if the linebacker depth is like that? But I'll hang up a list. I just curious if that would be an option.
It wasn't a 3-4. It was actually a 3-2-6. It was a 3-2-6. And I can remember you bring up Drew Morgan, it wasn't Drew, it was Grant. It was Grant Morgan. But he actually kind of let the cat out of the bag one time when we had some Zoom, because this was during COVID, about what kind of defense they were running. I remember Barry Odom going like, no, we're not doing that. And then lo and behold, they come out and run 3-2-6. But they had a lot of defensive backs back then. I mean, Jalen Catalon was really good. They had a good number of guys in the back end. It was just a strength. What we have seen though right now is a lot of 3-3-5 with Brad Spence coming in at that buck spot, lining up a little closer to the line of scrimmage. But that is
Bradley Shaw.
What'd I say? Brad Spence. Yeah.
Hey, you want him back?
Yeah. I like Brad Spence.
Okay, just making sure he had returned
in that ugly color. But yeah, he was. I thought Brad Spence was a good player for him. But yes, Bradley Shaw. But Spence played that role last year. Spence was the buck last year. So if they can't find that end that can be a starter for them, and maybe Charlie Collins could have a great 8 weeks coming up. He could, and I think he's got a lot of potential. But again, as I've said, even if he does, they need more players. You can't just have 2 defensive ends. And I don't think that Boone is a starter. I don't know that he's as good as Nico Davier was last year. I know Ken Talley, I don't think he is either. Or Henderson. Henderson's got some ability. He's a little bit limited because he's not that tall or long. But to me, I look out there and I see Quincy Rhodes, and I'm like, that's a guy. Charlie Collins, maybe one day he could be a guy. He needs a little bit more weight, in my opinion, a little more strength. Mm-hmm. So go out and get one. That's the spot you got to have. And if you can't, then I think we probably see a lot of 3-3-5.
That's a lot of do-re mi. You start talking 500,000, 400,000, so forth and so on. That's a lot of do-re mi. All right, Trey.
Yep.
Thank you. Enjoy tomorrow's practice. That is Trey Biddy, Hawksports.com, being brought to you by Chris Crain Hyundai and Genesis of Conway. We will return here to the Eat My Catfish Benton location. Stay with us here on Drive Time Sports.
Morning Mayhem wants to know, is it fact or is it crap? Listen each week for your chance to play, presented by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hawks Homes is the #1 Arkansas dealer. More inventory than anyone in Arkansas. Been in business for over 39 years. At Hawks, we offer custom-built, manufactured, and modular homes. 1 to 5 bedroom homes that can be built to accommodate all your needs. We also build lake houses, hunting clubs, offices, church, and classrooms. For more information, go to hawkshomes.net, located in Conway and Bryant.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Fellas, are you flirting with 40? Not feeling like yourself? Struggling with energy and motivation? Low T Center's testosterone therapy is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment is covered by most major insurance. Find a clinic near you or get treated at home and get back to feeling your best today. Book now at lowtcenter.com.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Shelter agent Dan Cook in North Little Rock, Becky Bradley in Sherwood, or Angie Collins in Heber Springs today.
It all starts online at RussellHonda.com, where you can find huge discounts on sales and service for one of the most reliable vehicles on the market. We have Hondas all over the lot and ready to go. Check us out at RussellHonda.com.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where there's only one thing Randy and Rick like better than talking sports, and that's biting into some fresh crawfish with all the fixins at any Eat My Catfish location. The number one sports radio show in Arkansas, Drive Time Sports, on the Buzz Radio Network.
Sports in the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer. I'm Randy Rainwater today from Eat My Catfish here in Benton, where we have got the live crawfish. Come on down. Might have a chance to win that big old bag of live crawfish. All you got to do, dine in, carry out. That puts you in the running. Or you can get, at this location, get a 3 pounds crawfish for just $20. Now, here's another option. We're one day away from this fantastic new special that Double F, he keeps coming up with these great specials at the Riverfront Steakhouse, and that is the 8-ounce filet. We've talked about the 6-ounce and the 10-ounce. This is the 8-ounce. 8-ounce filet. Combine that with that humongous NFL-sized baked potato. Add on the Double F rolls that melt in your mouth with that butter, and the salad bar. Now, previously, the salad bar was extra. This is included, all for $39.50. Now, I got to tell you, folks, I can brag all I want to on the salad bar. I can brag all I want to on the rolls, and that's not taking anything away from the rolls or the salad bar or even that giant baked potato. That filet, that 8-ounce filet that's cooked to perfection, your perfection. And now it's up to 8 ounces, not 6, 8. $39.50. That by itself, to me, is still worth $39.50. All the others is icing on top of the cake. And if you're looking for that great place this Friday, Good Friday, how about oven roasted salmon. That's right. Oven roasted salmon, delicious carrots, back to the hot rolls, and the salad bar, $25. Whew, what a deal. 371-9000, 371-9000. Ask for my Uncle Shapur. Tell him I sent you. He'll treat you like family. You can't beat it. That is the Riverfront Steakhouse, Wyndham Hotel in North Little Rock. And as our custom here on Thursdays, or make that Wednesdays, I'm trying to jump ahead to tomorrow because of that great special.
It's time for the Basketball Insider in Arkansas. It's Bart Reid, made possible by Martin Orthopedics, with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village, staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care. Now, here's Bart.
Here's Bart.
How's it going?
Well, not all the wait, but part of the wait is over. Arkansas now has added 2 big men.
2 good
and
ones. Really good ones.
We're gonna have fun with Nick Pringle, with all the chip tosses and this, that, and the other that may go on after an Arkansas victory. Can you imagine the students at the U of A? They're gonna have fun. I gotta believe they're gonna have fun with it. I hope they don't embarrass Nick or otherwise, but I think they can have some fun with that, with Pringles
and
he
seems like a carefree guy that would enjoy that too.
Yeah, have a little fun with it. But Nick Pringle and Malik Ewing, 2 big men. What's left on the shopping list, Bart?
Well, so real quick, first of all, I love these 2 guys. Malik from Florida State, 6'11", 230. I think even though probably a little bigger than Pringle, because Pringle's listed as 6'9", 220. Pringle seems like he just looks bigger than 220. Not that that's slight by any stretch of the imagination, but these are 2 guys that can go inside and outside. And by say inside and outside, certainly high ball screens, dribble handoffs. Malik reminds me a lot of, can do some of the things that Big Z did. Obviously, this past year, being able to catch the ball in the middle and the guards work off him. Malik's 14-7, almost 2 assists a game. That's impressive for, again, a big guy with multi-versatility. And Pringle, I think, played outstanding all year. This is a guy that finishes really well, tries to dunk it instead of laying it up. Randy, I love that. Tends to draw a little bit more contact, 10.6 rebounds. I think this puts Arkansas in a position where if Data Mint, and we talked about this on the golf course, if that does not work out, that they are in a position where I think these 2 are better right now. And I'm not saying they're going to be better in 2 years, but I think these 2 players, because of their physicality, are just in a better position to give immediate impact to the Arkansas Razorbacks this coming up basketball season.
Bart, have you had a chance? I have not. I confess I have not. Rick, maybe you have. I have not had a chance to really look at the transfer portal for basketball as closely as I used to. And maybe I'm just depending upon Coach Cal to get the best. Period. My question would be, the longer that you wait of adding anyone, is that pool that was initially, has the cream already been taken off the top? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think I won't say the creams have been picked off the top, but it's certainly been picked over. But this is where I think Coach Cal is doing something that's really smart. Instead of going best available player, guys, he's really looking at what he needs for the team. So the baseball analogy, if you need a third baseman, Coach Cal's going to take a third baseman versus maybe someone else that does a little bit. So I think it's been picked over. There's still some options there. And guys, there's still, like Chris Sinak's the guy that Arkansas has looked at for a long time. He went to Link Academy. He's a high school player that was they were looking at him and Nate Ament. He's still out there. And He's 6'10", 7'4" wingspan. So there's even some high school players that are still yet to decide that Arkansas's been on in the past where if they don't get Nate Ament, that there's certainly some places where they can plug and play. But I think Coach Cal feels like he's in a great spot. Rick, you might agree, disagree, where the talent, he feels like he's got what he needs and he can add a piece, but he's got to feel pretty good about his position.
Well, what we don't know, and other reporters are saying one we don't know, is DJ Wagner. I don't know what you know about him, but if he does come back, they're at 10 scholarship players right now. If he doesn't, they're at 9, which is what they had last year. So, does that? How many more would they go out and get? Let's say Ament comes and Wagner stays, then you got 11. I can't imagine they're going to have more than 11 after 9 would have been a good number had they not had people injured.
That's right. I think Wagner. Now, this is. I won't say. I think he stays. That's just my 2 cents. I think when you look at what his grade out is going to be, I think coming back, even if you get guys, which, listen, Acuff absolutely showed out at the Nike Hoop Summit, and Malik Thomas did not play at the Nike Hoop Summit, but he did scrimmage the USA Team Select before that, so he was in Portland, and he's certainly impressed. So even with those 2 people coming in, I think Wagner still has a really big spot and role on the team if he does decide to come back, which I think ultimately he will decide to come back.
If so, Randy, if so, I can't imagine they'll go in the transfer portal for another player. If Ament comes, it's 11. If not, it's 10. I mean, why do you need somebody else?
Yeah.
Unless you may need 3 practice players like they had last year, but that's about it.
And guys, they're loaded. Can we say it's fair to say that doesn't mean they're guaranteeing any result? That's as talented as an Arkansas roster as Arkansas fans have seen, certainly in this lifetime. I mean, this team is loaded up with. I don't think you can point to any certain weaknesses that this team would have. Certainly, there are some, but question marks about shooting the basketball kind of go away. You maintain a great level of defensive ability and versatility, and then you kind of get better in the interior a little bit.
Bart, what I was going to ask, this is to me, I don't even know what category to put him in. Kareem Rattel, he is from Lebanon. Is that where the young man is from? He's 6'9", 210 pounds. He'll have 4 years remaining. I mean, 6'9", what does he have to offer?
Well, he reminds me a lot of what kind of Nate Ament would bring, and that's more of size, wingspan, but dribble ability and shooting ability, especially mid-range and quick catch and shoot perimeters type of shot. So this would be more of a, let's say, Dirk Nowitzki type of guy versus just a traditional post player at 6'9", 6'10". So I think he offers, again, some versatility defensively because I think he can guard 2 to 3 positions, but he does add a jump shot like a Trayvon Brazil type where he can step out and shoot it, and makes it kind of what Coach Cal's going to this 4-out, 5-out where they maintain a lot of balance and a lot of offensive diversity, but he's more of that type of player than a traditional post-up type player.
Yeah, I started to say, Bart,
like Ewing would be.
In Cal's, in this system, this is really not – it's not necessary, correct me if I'm wrong, to have that true 5 we think down on the block. Is that am I in the ballpark semi-correct?
Well, you don't have to have it, but I think what Coach Cal has shown is that he likes to have it. And so I think this is where if you look at Pringle, especially with his progression, because he had the best season that he's had this past season, if he continues to fill out and get stronger, this is a guy that finishes really well. You see it a lot on pick and rolls, and you see him a lot in transition. But I think he can go on the block and get you a basket. And I also think Ewing can do that as well. I think that's what he was looking at with these 2 guys. High ball screens, high middle DHOs, and then guys that can roll to the rim, catch it, and take one dribble and finish, or flash and post up and be able to give you a hook in the middle or a drop step and be able to finish. So I think he doesn't have to have it, but he does have it on this roster with these two coming in.
Okay. I just, the way you were talking about both of them kind of initially, not necessarily a stretch 4 or 5, but not someone who's playing predominantly down on the block. And then with Kareem Rattel, we haven't really talked about this young man at all. I mean, it's all been Acuff or Thomas, and really hadn't talked enough about Isaiah Sealy, which I do want to – let's talk about those two again. I know you did talk about Kareem a moment ago, but let's dive a little bit deeper if we can when we come back. All right, that is Bart Reid, Pure Sweat. Nope, he's not. That's Bart Reid, thanks to Martin Orthopedics. Rick Schaeffer. I'm Randy Rainwater. Eat my catfish. Man, that blackened catfish out of sight.
By Ortho Now, your walk-in solution for orthopedic care at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health.
They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that's your home and your business. So if your business needs a touch-up, call CertaPro Painters and let them handle the job for you. They provide excellent workmanship, quality, and a worry-free process for both residential and commercial spaces, all at the right price. You've got to focus on your business. Let them focus on your painting. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Get your estimate scheduled today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Hello, folks. It's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge here in Sherwood, and I've got big news for April. Don't worry about the tariffs because we don't have any tariff merchandise at Fletcher Dodge. I've got some great offers, so I hope you'll listen up to these great values. Here's a big one, $14,000 off on new Ram pickups. Yes, I did say $14,000 off. And when you come see us, we don't have any fluffed up MSRPs. That's off the real MSRP. Also, you can have at your choice. You can have 1.9% financing for 72 months. Wow, $14,000 or 1.9% financing for 72 months. Our Jeep sale was a huge success, so we're going to extend it through April. Listen up to this. Save $6,500 on new Wranglers and get our new Jeep Compass as low as $25,995. We're having that big sale also on our pre-owned. This is something we've never done before. Buy a used car and get a certified warranty at no extra charge. Come see us at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood or shop us online at FletcherDeals.com.
Do wings your way at Slim Chickens. We're talking perfectly fried bone-in wings. Choose from 10 different flavors like our Cayenne Ranch Dry Rub or Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Always delicious for lunch or dinner. And if you need to feed a hungry crowd, Slim's has you covered with party trays that are perfect for the big game. No matter who you are, be bold and find your flavor at Slim Chickens. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports and the Eat My Catfish studios. Eat My Catfish, now serving the spiciest cooked crawfish in Central Arkansas. Eat fresh, eat local, eat my catfish. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
To Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Eat my catfish. That's what we're doing today. We are eating our catfish and all the trimmings that go along with it. And I do need to mention First Security Bank because they have got you in mind. When I say whatever better means to you, and you're going to find more of it at First Security. As Arkansas's community bank, First Security is all about taking care of customers, making a lot better right here in Arkansas. And if you're looking to buy a home, run a business, or a whole lot more, you need to check them out at First Security Bank, fsbank.com. That's First Security Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, only in Arkansas. That's First Security Bank. And let's do this.
It's time for the basketball insider in Arkansas. It's Bart Reid, made possible by Martin Orthopedics, with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village, staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care. Now, here's Bart.
Now, Bart, I've got to ask you, being a Sheridan boy,
yep,
what is the favorite there? Is it crawfish? Is it catfish? Is it shrimp? What is, because I've got Travis with me, and I'm putting you on the spot because Travis is a Sheridan guy as well. Trey Biddy is a Sheridan guy. We've got our man, the Bear. He is from Sheridan. So I mean, this is I mean, this is big time. Danny West,
Grant County
is down from Sheridan. Yeah.
Yeah, Grant County. Well, I could tell you in the Reid house, this is an easy one. My son and I we love crawfish, so we will pass up on any of the. But although, listen, we love all seafood, but crawfish is our favorite. So we love it in the Reid house. So that's an easy one for me.
Well, Travis, I got to confess, it wasn't a live sack. The sack did not get up and walk away by itself. It was the crawfish that made the sack walk.
Yeah,
well, those are so big, Randy. That's the problem. Those crawfish in that sack right now are so big, they're actually carrying the sack around themselves. I don't even have to carry it. That's right. That's the reason it took me so long to get on the show today, is because the crawfish, I couldn't tame them.
It was amazing. and I've been talking about, you can get 3 pounds for $20 at the Benton store only.
Yeah.
Now, Travis, how big is that sack over there? That can't be 3 pounds.
No, that sack's 36 pounds. That
was
caught 2 days ago. Yeah, man. But the size in there is just incredible. This is prime time season, so the crawfish size won't get any better this year. And the quality of this is the time you want to be eating them. The shells are still not too hard, but they're firmed up. It's just incredible.
Now, I was told by a great authority that you went on a recruiting trip. You took not one but 2 daughters down to Louisiana, and who did a crawfish hunt.
Yeah. Well, it's hunt, fish, whatever. But man, we were down there this time last week, pushing the crawfish boats around. They were pulling the traps. Luckily, it was a little cooler that night before, so I didn't see any snakes. Did see a gator in the ditch next to it, swimming around. But yeah, we caught some crawfish, brought it back, and man, it was just an incredible experience. It's really fun to see. People don't realize how much they think they just go out and catch them in a ditch, right? But they rotate those fields. So 1 year it's rice, and then they leave the stubble after they cut the rice twice down there, and then they plant crawfish for the next year. And then the field that's a crawfish field this year, next year will be a rice field. So they rotate each field every other year from rice to crawfish, rice to crawfish. And these guys are farming, thousands of acres. And the workers, one worker will go out there and fish. They'll probably walk 12 to 15 miles a day in those ponds, pulling those traps and rebaiting them. It is amazing.
And that's amazing. Okay, so now I've been promoting, so I don't want to get myself into too deep of a live sack, but I've been promoting. I've been said every order, dine in or carry out, enters you into 3 drawings, with the grand prize being a sack of live.
Yeah, let's get that right. I've heard enough from Rick about this. Yeah, let's get this right.
A sack of live, fresh Louisiana crawfish. Is it going to be that sack right there?
It won't be this sack.
Okay.
We'll set it up for a week or two out whenever they're ready, because you got to cook these things before they die. Once they die, they're no good. So we'll make sure they're ready for it. We'll set it up with them. But yeah, we're going to give one of those away tonight. Before I leave tonight, we're going to draw a winner. Contact them.
Wow. Excellent. So dine in or carry out, either way, and that qualifies you for that large.
Yeah.
Maybe not that large, but it's going to be large.
So, Bart, I guess what you could do is you could go online and order. You don't have to pick it up. You could just order like a small French fry, and you could get registered, I guess. That's how you could cheat.
Okay, I'll have to do it.
The Sheridan discounts, what it sounds like.
Yeah, Sheridan Yellow Jackets.
That's right. So, Travis, this is the months with ours. I try to remember the cheat sheet because I'm going to get some from you in the future.
That's oysters. That's oysters.
Okay.
So basically, season will go mid-January to mid-June, but we're out there in the middle of it now, and it is prime time. Yeah. So between now and Memorial Day is just the best crawfish you can get.
There we go.
And they are big old. I mean, is that kind of the average size, Travis?
Those are really big, Randy. But that came out of that side. I just pulled it straight out there. But I mean, I wouldn't mess with this guy. He would leave a scar on my finger.
That's a big old booger.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing could hurt you, Rick. I'm glad you're trying. Yeah. I mean, and that's outside the sack. Thank you. It's not quite like the rattlesnakes we see at the Big Buck Classic, but that booker looks like he could definitely hurt you. Okay, Bart, we were in the midst of talking about two players that we haven't talked about. We always talk about Darius Acuff. We always talk about Malik Thomas. Let's talk about Isaiah Seeley. And if you want to go, you may have said all that you wanted to say on Kareem Rattel. But if you have anything you want to add on him.
Rattel, no. So because Rattel is being an overseas guy. So he's played in the Lithuania Pro League for a long time, since he was a teenager. So this is a guy that's accustomed to playing bigger, stronger, older players in the European Professional League. So this is a guy, 8 points, 4 rebounds. When I wanted to say, it's not like he can't post up. Picture him as a 1 through 4 guy. Randy, we talk about numbers all the time. He's a 3-level scorer, so he can handle the ball. He can shoot it from 3. Probably the most impressive thing is for a guy that size, shot basically 32% from the 3-point line. So this is a guy that can shoot it. I think he defends at a high level, can play multiple spots. So he does fit into what I think Coach Cal's trying to do. But this guy's got big time game, and certainly I think is an immediate impact guy. This is not a project guy. He can step in and have a role right away. I think Seeley probably, Randy, in my opinion, is the most intriguing of the recruits coming in because he's gotten taller and gotten a lot stronger. I think when you look at him from a sophomore to now with his listed at 6'7", I think he's every bit of 6'7". Shoots the ball really well, extremely skilled. I think is a 2-3 combo type player. Has a really nice mid-range game, has a lot of bounce to him. He's very athletic. I was not expecting him to be as athletic as he was, but he really can wow some people with his athleticism. He did that windmill dunk in the state championship game with relative ease, and it's certainly a high percentage shooter and makes really smart basketball plays. So this is a guy that had Springdale where they win the King Cotton against some top-level competition, almost win the 6A state championship, lose a heartbreaker to Bryant. But this is a guy that's put up big numbers at the highest level, EYBL, and I think can step in and really have a role as well, even though Acuff and Thomas have taken most of the headlines from a player. But Seeley's one of the best players in the country.
All right, Bart, you had a tough one to answer a moment ago. Here's another tough one to answer. Blackened shrimp or blackened catfish?
Blackened shrimp. Travis, me and you are going to be good friends, buddy. I'm going to be hitting you up.
Thanks, Bart.
All right, Bart, we will talk with you.
Thanks, God.
Next week. That's Bart Reid. Thanks to Martin Orthopedics. Drive Time Sports will continue in a moment.
Bet Saracen has a club you might want to consider joining. It's the perfect offer for you if you like to play parlays. Head over to the Bet Saracen app, opt in, and get all the details on how to earn bonus cash with the Parlay Bonus Club. It's active through June, and it could be the key to stacks of sportsbook bonus cash. The Parlay Bonus Club on the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the Big Lot on I-30 and Alcoa in Benton, where you'll find hundreds of clean, local pre-owned vehicles with big deals. At the Big Lot Benton, you'll save thousands and go home with a low payment.
Do they have cars that could fit my whole crew for our summer road trip?
Oh, yeah. SUVs from Tahoes, Yukons, Suburbans, minivans. You'll find it all at the Big Lot.
I'm looking for a truck I can use for work, but also to tow the boat later this season.
We've got trucks. The Big Lot on I-30 and Alcoa Road in Benton.
Chris Kane joins Morning Mayhem each Monday to mix it up with the guys. Chris Kane on Morning Mayhem is presented by Trader Bill's. Trader Bill's, your one-stop shop for all things lake.
I'm so angry. Don't be upset. You can always listen to us. You're better than that. 103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
Police are still trying to find anyone responsible for the mass shooting in Conway. Police have identified the two people who died as 24-year-old Tatiana Pinister and 23-year-old Demetrius Feemster. Of the 9 people who remain in the hospital, 1 is in serious condition. We're told they're recovering from surgery in the ICU. The other 8 victims suffered non-life-threatening injuries. During a press conference, Police Chief Chris Harris said the party at Fifth Avenue Park was planned by out-of-town promoters and they did not have a permit from the city. Most people there were also not from Conway. He says during the gathering, multiple people fired more than 100 rounds from at least 6 different guns. Police say they have a lot of leads, but witness accounts and cell phone videos have provided different suspect descriptions and names, so investigators don't have any solid suspect information to share at this time. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Insure your auto, home, life, and everything in between with Shelter Insurance. Find a local agent by calling 1-800-SHELTER or at shelterinsurance.com.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 76 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy. We'll drop to the mid and upper 50s, 56 here in Little Rock. And tomorrow, warmer, windy with a high of 84. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at the D3 Auto Sales text line at 501-614-1037. D3 Auto Sales in Desart, the #1 independent dealer in the state with the best prices and largest selection on pre-owned vehicles, including leveled and lifted trucks. Find them on Facebook. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, from high school to the pros, hit us up on the D3 Auto Sales text line.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen is a proud sponsor of Nolan Richardson on Drive Time Sports. Founded over 10 years ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison, Arkansas Municipal Equipment specializes in refuse and recycle equipment. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, and roll-off dumpsters. But they don't just sell it to you. You can get parts and service for all makes and models for refuse equipment. Their technicians travel the state to take care of you.
AME. It's the service after the sale.
You know, it's a shame it's not football season. I've come up with a way that a university quarterback could add to his NIL money. Say he's playing a game on national TV and the field mic picks him up barking signals. He'd go, GV80 2.99, GV80 2.99. Well, in honor of Genesis of Conway offering the incredible GV80s at 2.99% interest to qualified buyers. Go see him before March ends or you'll be penalized for too much time. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
The games are on, the food's delicious, and here you are always part of the team. Welcome to Walk On Sports Bistro, where every day is game day. Whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the fam for some made-from-scratch favorites. Walk On's is your go-to for good times, craft beer, and cocktails, and bold flavors for fans of all ages, from melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame-level burgers. Stop by today or order online in the app. Walk On Sports Bistro. Game on.
This is Justin Acree with some exciting news. UAMS Ortho Now is now open at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. If you have an orthopedic injury, sports, work, or anything else, walk in and get the best in orthopedic care. No appointment needed. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. Conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 caller-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Hour number 3 of Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer standing by in Northwest Arkansas today from Eat My Catfish here in Benton. By the way, I've established my spot. They have outdoor dining where they'll bring you your order. You can sit outside. What a glorious day it is outside. You can go inside, obviously. You can eat in there, but why not eat outside? This is what a beautiful day it is today. And we are here until 7 o'clock. Don't forget this great crawfish opportunity, whether it's to buy that 3 pounds for $20 or whether you can simply order, dine in, carry out, whatever it may be, and get a chance to win a big old sack of these crawfish that will qualify you by just simply placing an order. And maybe you'll be the lucky one that wins that. But I want to talk to you real quick about Crain and my friends at Crain Hyundai, both Little Rock and North Little Rock. It's a tariff-free zone. Hyundai has six models that start under $30,000, all backed with Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Crain Hyundai in Little Rock and North Little Rock have lots full of tariff-free vehicles. Right now, all 2024 model Hyundai Tucsons are $3,500 off. Save thousands and lower your payments by hundreds at Crain Hyundai. That's 2 Central Arkansas locations Little Rock on Colonel Glen Road and Warden Road in North Little Rock, or go online at crainteam.com. Joined now by Richard Davenport of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and WholeHogSports.com. Richard, you like crawfish?
Actually, I don't. No.
You like shrimp?
Okay, I'm kind of abnormal. I'm not a big seafood eater.
Okay. Well, I tell you to come on down. But
there goes your chance for Eat My Catfish tonight. But that's okay.
Well, I'm sure they have some menu items I can eat.
Chicken. How about chicken?
Yeah, I can do some damage on some chicken. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. I knew we'd find something, Richard, to your liking. I mean, eventually.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have brought me on after talking about the sponsor. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
It's okay, Richard. It is okay. I mean, I just got through talking with Bart and Reid. Bart is a Sheridan boy. Travis is a Sheridan boy. I didn't realize, till you start naming off names, Sheridan has produced a lot of great individuals in the media. Trey Biddy is from Sheridan. Danny West is from Sheridan.
No, he's from Rising.
Luke Matheson. Well, that's close enough. It's right down the road. We'll count
down the road an hour or so.
I was raised in Little Rock, so only about 35 miles from Sheridan. So I guess that's the metro area of Sheridan.
Yeah, you were in one of the suburbs.
The metro area of Sheridan. Yeah, Little Rock. Yep, probably the first time Little Rock's ever been described that way.
Yeah. I'll claim Sheridan. Go ahead.
All right, Richard. The transfer portal has opened up for football. What kind of are you expecting? And when I say expecting, I'm talking on more than just a quote statewide or schools from the state of Arkansas. I'm talking about in general. What kind of influx are you expecting? This is the second for football. This will be the second transfer portal window. So what numbers are you kind of expecting this time around, Richard?
As far as leaving Arkansas football team?
No, I'm talking about numbers in general across the face of college football. I think wasn't over 3,000 last time.
What's that?
Wasn't there over 3,000 the last time back in December?
Yeah, I think it was over 3,000 total last year between the two portal windows. But I'm sure it'll be sizable, but it's like 10 days, so it won't be anything like January. January is just the perfect time. If you're going to go into the portal, that's the perfect time to go because you can obviously enroll in January to your new school and go through spring practice. You do it now. You have to graduate from the school that you're attending right now, then join your new school in December. In June, and you go through off-season workouts, summer workouts, but you're not going through. You're not going to have any kind of spring practice situation. So I think it's a little bit more difficult for transfers when they don't go through off-season workouts from in the second semester and go through spring practice. But some guys obviously have reasons for leaving in the spring. But you obviously heard Sam say yesterday that he would like for it to be just one time, and I don't blame him. I think just that one time in January or in late December is adequate. But it's you have to be on your toes almost. Year round, really. If you're a college football coach or basketball coach, you just don't know what kind of roster you're going to have after your season's completed, and then after that, you you go into the spring after you finish spring practice and you think, okay, this is what we got, and then all of a sudden you may have a few surprises and a few guys leave, and then you have to kind of adjust your numbers that you wanted to bring in anyway for spring. And I just saw where I think 25 guys have already left West Virginia.
Wow, really? This spring?
I think so, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw that
today.
Well, I think they probably announced that they had intentions to enter the portal beforehand, and then you had probably some guys announced today that they were entering the portal. So yeah, I saw. Last I saw it was like 25. Now, obviously, that's a new coaching staff. So there may be some various reasons for that. Could be coaches urged them to get in the portal. It could be that they just didn't mesh with the new coaching staff. I don't know, but when I saw 25 already from one school, I was like that's pretty incredible.
That is incredible, and you got to think, okay, so players going in today, if they've lost 25, I'm sure there's still plenty of players that went in December, January window that are available, but maybe not the best ones. That puts you in a really awkward position, doesn't it, for West Virginia?
Oh, good gosh. I would imagine so. Yeah, it says right here, more than 25 West Virginia players have officially entered the NCAA transfer portal this morning.
This morning?
That is insane.
Wow. Goodness.
I know Rich Rodriguez has a reputation of being a difficult coach, and I think sometimes especially if you had a coach, I don't know, a previous coach, I don't know much about him, but maybe he was more of a so-called players coach, and this is kind of a shock to their system. So I don't know. Obviously, something's going on.
And the transfer portal is a shock to his system. So I guess it works both ways, doesn't it?
Oh, there's no doubt. I'm sure he kind of knew some of this was coming, but I'm not so sure he saw more than 25 jumping into the portal. That's
wow.
Good gosh, it's almost 1/3 of your team.
Yeah. Brutal.
Jeez. All right. We talked earlier about NIL and how it's going to impact. You had a very interesting article the other day, and rather than me trying to remember how to quote you exactly, if you would kind of give us the gist of what you and Paul were discussing in that particular article the other day.
Well, I talked to Paul Benencarty, the ESPN recruiting director for basketball, and we were just talking about agents, and when he brought that up, I was like, let's talk about this, because obviously that's a different layer of people that you have to go through now if you're a college coach. I mean, I think the college coaches have had to deal with agents, street agents, for quite some time, but the agents today definitely have a lot more power because money's involved. I mean, money was involved beforehand, but the money is even more so, obviously, now. And really, you right now, and I failed to point that out in the column, and I apologize, but I mean, just like the NFL, the agents have to be certified. There's no certification as far as the agents that are representing these high school kids and transfer guys. And there's some that are on the up and up, and they have knowledge about how to conduct themselves. But there's some that just have no clue. Some of these kids have guys that are really have no background as far as negotiating or any business background or anything like that, and it's got to be frustrating to the coaches. But really, it's just about running through everything through the agents, and we've talked about this. I've seen, well, I've not seen, but I've talked to people that said contracts was that they may have an agreement on a contract for a kid, but it may take a week before that contract's finally ironed out, because each side is wanting different things added. And your kid may commit, say, on a Saturday, and people were thinking, well, why hasn't he signed? Well, he hasn't signed because the contract negotiations can be a little difficult. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. But I mean, there's much more in the column about the difficulties that the coaches go through when dealing with agents, and also the transfer portal, and how some kids just think that grass is going to be greener when it's not necessarily going to be that way.
How do you think the Tennessee quarterback leaving and what he may end up getting instead of what he was going to get, how do you see that situation affecting college football, transfer portal, NIL?
Yeah, well, evidently that he's going to go to UCLA now, which is kind of ironic because his brother decommitted from UCLA to sign with Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And but evidently the money that he was making supposedly at Tennessee was 2.2 to 2.5. Supposedly the money at UCLA is going to be about $1 million. And so now the word coming out from the family now is, and we haven't heard from the family, so you have to take what they're supposedly putting out there as the truth, that it wasn't necessarily the money, it was the Tennessee offense just that seemed to be a good fit for Nico. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I'm sure there's some truth on both sides that we don't know about. But I think if anything, especially guys that are looking to increase their contracts and stuff like that, I think seeing this, if the numbers are right, and seeing that you go, especially this is the wrong time to make a demand on money, because most of the teams already have their quarterbacks already locked in for 2025. But evidently UCLA had a need for a quarterback. But I think this potentially could maybe slow some of the transferring down for money, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically going to get what you want, especially if you do it in the spring. Because most of the positions are in pretty good shape for most colleges. Now, Sam said yesterday he's probably looking at around 5 guys. Well, in January that they signed more than 20 guys. So obviously the market's much better for guys looking for money options in January than it is in the spring, because there's going to be less available spots on college teams.
But think about this. He can go for $1 million. You know why he can do that, and it's not a big deal. If his original deal with Tennessee was $8 million and they owed him between 2.2 and 2.5, that means he's already collected at least $5.5 million from them. He ought to have enough in the bank that he'd be okay to take a salary cut, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but I mean that's still a sizable cut. But I know what you're saying, and you hope that he has put money back. But
I don't care if he has or not.
A lot of these, a lot of these, from what I understand, a lot of kids don't do that.
Yeah,
they pretty much spend the money. Whatever they make, they spend. And you just hope, I know schools educate them about tax, paying their taxes and quarterly taxes and stuff like that. But teaching kids that and them actually doing it is one different thing. So you just hope some of these guys are saving some of their money. I do know of one particular young man who did pretty good, and he saved most of his money, and he'll be set for life. I mean, as far as when it comes time to retire or whatever, he could probably retire at age 40 something or 50.
Amazing.
All right, we got a caller. This is Mark, who happens to be a West Virginia Well, couldn't wait on us, I guess. He was a West Virginia fan. Maybe he's going to give us some clarity of what's going on with Rich Rod.
Well, maybe he hung up to get in the transfer portal.
If you're calling to get in our transfer portal, that's not going to work. You know, the one thing about Nico moving, though, to Los Angeles is he could make millions on endorsement deals because of the Los Angeles market. So maybe there's some added incentive by going back to, or going to UCLA because of those marketing opportunities that may not have been available many other places, with the exception of maybe New York, Chicago, someplace like that, because of being a major market. But I don't know. That's his problem, not mine.
And if he doesn't make it, he can always sing "Do You Know the Way to San Jose," which talks about all those people in L.A. that are now parking cars because they didn't make it.
Oh, he is pushing the letter today. He is. All right, Richard, here's a question for you by way of our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. Do you think Arkansas will get some good transfer portal guys?
Well, I mean, they've done. Coach Pittman and staff has done pretty good in the past. I mean, if you look at this last year's roster and the number of starters, a lot of them were starters, and most of them, most of the transfers worked out for the most part. So I tend to think, obviously, the talent pool is going to be a little less, quite a bit less in the spring. But so I mean, you obviously have to evaluate maybe a little a little harder to make sure you when you get a guy that he's actually going to help you don't want to waste any money. So, but we'll see. I mean, it's early. It's early right now. I think what Coach Pittman said, defensive line and secondary are the two areas that you'll probably see the most activity. But at the same time, I wouldn't rule out a linebacker because I know that there was some traction in the first time in January. They were looking for linebackers, and I think that they could take one more and maybe another receiver. I think those are the positions that you're going to be looking at as far as Arkansas. But as far as the quality, time will tell. I mean, we'll find out. I mean, it's just too early to really tell.
All right, so Richard, we know basketball. That portal's about to shut, and they have already started. Well, they've been able to do this now for a while. That is, take visitors. We know the two that came in, Pringle and Ewing, and those seem to be locked up, signed, sealed, and delivered. What about football? When does the football transfer portal visits? When do those begin? And do you know of any that could be possibly lined up?
Anytime. They can begin today. I mean, if they want. But if anything, I tend to think maybe the first ones will probably be maybe this weekend or a little later next week, because you don't want to bring in guys too early, because there may be a couple more at that particular position that you like more, and you just don't want to waste their time. So, but I tend to think that you'll probably see some activity for his visits fairly soon.
All right, Richard. I won't put you on the spot next time when it comes to food unless I mention chicken, okay?
Yeah, you got it. Everything else is I'm gung ho, man.
So when it comes to cards, you never play Go Fish?
Oh, gracious. Thank you, Richard.
Pick your servers, people.
Tickets are on sale now for the 21st annual Double B's Buzzbecue, May 10th at the downtown Riverside RV Park. Sample great barbecue from incredible cooks from all over Arkansas. And while you're there, be sure to stop by the Buzzaritaaville Pavilion for a cold drink and some great live music from Bree Ogden, Jeff Coleman, and from Taylor Made Rocks, Roland Pennington, and David Meade. Brought to you by Chris Crain, Dodge G. Brown. It's the 21st annual Double B's Buzzbecue, May 10th. Go to buzzbecue.com for tickets.
Injured? There's only one number you need to know. 888-8888.
At Rainwater, Holton, Sexton, no case is too big and no insurance company too strong.
Just dial 888-8888. Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
The electric cooperatives got its start lighting Arkansas, and we continue to meet that demand with every resource we can deliver. We're powering your life where you live every single day through one of 17 local cooperatives, each unique, always united, and in your community. Our mission? To provide reliable, affordable, and responsible power to every corner of Arkansas. It's the local hometown cooperative way, because we're better connected together. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas.
Hello, Buzz listeners. It's Chris Zender here at Frank Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Sherwood, and I've got some big news. We aren't participating in any tariff price hikes. That's right, no bogus markups at Fletcher Dodge. Now, here's some really big news. Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram just announced factory employee pricing. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no tricks, just real savings. These are the best deals we've seen all year. New Ram trucks up to $14,000 off, or you can get 1.9% for 72 months. New Grand Cherokees with third row seating and sunroofs. Also, four-wheel drive, priced under $40,000. New Wranglers up to $9,000 off. And the all-new Jeep Compass for only $359 a month. Folks, we're making deals every day like it's the last day of the month. At Fletcher Dodge, you always get the best price, the lowest finance rate, and more for your trade. We also promise you a hassle-free buying experience. We want to be your dealer for life. It's Ram Truck Month. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Come see us in person at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood, or shop online at FletcherDeals.com.
Fort Thompson's wants to help you get geared up for turkey season. Great selection of custom calls, ammo, shotguns, clothing, vests, and decoys. Plus, amazing prices on handguns and rifles. Check it out at FTThompson.com.
It's Justin Acree for CertaPro Painters, and CertaPro knows how important your home is to you. That's why they're focused on helping you bring fresh color to your home. You can trust CertaPro Painters to get the job done right, even in those hard-to-reach places. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting, all at the right price. And each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They're always easy, and they get you a quote right away. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Awesome Wednesday edition of Morning Mayhem is in the books. The guys are on the road at the Governor's Mansion with Governor Sarah Sanders tomorrow, and a whole lot more coming your way on a Thursday edition of Morning Mayhem, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios. Eat fresh, eat local, eat my catfish. The #1 sports radio show in Arkansas. Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network.
Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer, I'm Randy Rainwater. This Saturday, April the 19th, Robert Irwin Jewelers in North Little Rock is having a 6-hour, 60% off sale. This is the real deal, a real 60% off sale. No marking up to mark down. No up to 60% off. For 6 hours, starting at 10 a.m. this Saturday, get 60% off anything in the showcase. Diamond anniversary bands, diamond rings, diamond pendants, all 60% off. Save 60% off on designer jewelry. Save 60% off in engagement rings. Never better time to put a ring on it. 60% off bracelets, earrings, necklaces, gemstones, even brand name watches, 60% off. Over 1,000 items to choose from. Special financing is available. Get up to 6 months interest-free at Robert Irwin Jewelers, or take up to 60 months to pay. This Saturday, in-store only, at the Robert Irwin Jewelers in McCain Mall in North Little Rock. Sale ends Saturday at 4 p.m. For complete details, go online at rijewelers.com. The only advice that I am offering at this particular moment, come hungry and stay late. When I say come hungry, if you can't find enough to eat my catfish, then you're not looking. You're not trying. Because, folks, I just had the blackened chicken and the blackened catfish and the blackened shrimp, and I got to tell you, I'm full, and I usually can eat. And folks are coming in for that crawfish. You can get 3 pounds at the Benton store right now for $20. How about that? If you can eat 3 pounds of crawfish, shame on you. I think that one in that bucket's trying to do a jailbreak. Get back in that bucket. I don't want to see you over here with me.
Trying to take a walk with that bag over there.
Yeah, that bag it's walked off several times, and now it's back in the chair. I guess it's more comfortable in the chair and not on the floor. So anyway, okay. We have been promising this, and now we have it.
It's time to hang loose with Razorback slugger Nolan Souza. In his freshman season, the Hawaiian had 7 home runs and 28 RBIs while making the freshman All-SEC team. He's brought to you by Seth Boyd with Shelter Insurance. For all your insurance needs, Seth Boyd can help you get the right coverage for the right price. Now, let's play ball with Nolan Souza.
Rick, I tried to offer Nolan some advice that if he needs dealing with any kind of issues concerning injuries, I'm not a certified doctor, Nolan, but I have been down the path. I've had both shoulders replaced, so I think I'm pretty experienced. And if you need any kind of counseling, but first and foremost, we want to say we're praying for you, my friend. Mm-hmm. We hope for a speedy recovery. I know it has to be tough. I mean, you are just starting to really round into shape, into form, and it's a tough blow. So we just want you to know we're thinking about you and praying for you, and we appreciate you stepping up and joining us here on Drive Time Sports, my friend.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate you guys keeping me in your prayers. It means a lot.
Well, it's got to be a tough time. Have they come to any conclusion yet as to what your situation is?
Yeah, I banged up my shoulder pretty bad on that dive, and so I'm going to need to get surgery on my shoulder.
So, and what's obviously not for this season, but what do they tell you for rehab time for when you'll be able to actually play again?
It'll probably be sometime during fall ball.
Okay.
The doctor actually told me that if this was going to happen at some point throughout the season, that it happened at a somewhat good time. I mean, there's never a good time to get hurt, but with the timeline, it should allow me to at least be able to hit during next fall in our preseason. So. And I'll be able to go out there and play defense as well. I won't be able to throw 100% yet during fall ball, but I will be able to go out there and at least hit and play in the games.
Hearing you say that, did this basically determine your future for next year, that it's going to be back to Arkansas because it's going to be necessary to rehab and then have another good year?
I mean, I think that it kind of would be the same either way.
Really?
It just kind of puts me.
Because you'd be draft eligible. You'd be draft eligible, would you not?
Next year?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I am draft eligible next year.
Oh, next year. So not this year. So, okay. I'm sorry.
No,
I confused that. Well, that's
I
good.
can't get drafted this year.
Great. Well, great. Well, we're glad that that's going to work out then.
Yes, sir.
All right, Nolan, if you would kind of recall for those that didn't see what happened, can you replay it in your mind exactly what happened? Describe what really went on?
When JT hit the ball to third, I had been checking where the infielders and outfielders were playing before that, and I saw that the third baseman was playing him really deep, like almost on the outfield grass. So when JT hit the ball to him, it got to him a little quicker than I thought it would, but because of how far back he was playing, I thought that I would have a chance to kind of beat him to the base almost, and that he wouldn't really be able to get me. But he came charging in, and I don't think he meant to, but when he tagged me, he kind of slid into me and put his knee into the back of my shoulder. And that's what kind of caused the main injury. And then I rolled over my shoulder after that happened as well.
Ouch.
It
definitely did not feel good.
It leads to a subject we talked about last week. You may want to address. Years ago, when we're young, long before you're born, guys like Lou Brock, the big base stealers, always slid feet first. Now we see so many head first. Why is that? And is there an advantage to going in head first? And is there more or less chance of injury if you're going in head first?
The real big advantage with going in head first is that you really don't have to slow yourself down when you slide. You can almost push into it, keep your speed going, and then your body's also going forward towards the bag instead of kind of pulling up backwards. And also, if the ball does beat you to the bag, you're able to kind of do like a swim move or try to get around the guy with your arms, as opposed to your foot being out there, you're kind of stuck. But there is also a little more risk going in head first. You kind of put yourself at risk of you could jam your wrist, your arm. You could have the fielder jump up and land on you and cleat you. So it's kind of a take it at your own risk kind of situation in that sense.
Is that part of why people wear the mitt, is because they hope would soften any blow on a hand?
Yeah, there's a padding on both sides of the mitt in case somebody steps on your hand, and then there's also there's a metal piece that goes from your hand over your wrist so that you don't jam your wrist going into the base.
Very good. Well, thank you for that explanation.
Sure.
And we did not have those back in the old days, so we've struggled. I say we, Rick and I and others probably have struggled over this mitt. We've seen it now for the last couple of years being put into play. So thank you. I did not realize it had a metal rod in there that would help from getting a sprained wrist. That's pretty effective. I didn't think of it that way, but for what it's worth, and I'm sure you've already heard this as well, and I never have been, Nolan, so I can give you all the positives of what you should do, not what I did, but rehab is the I mean, it's the trick to the whole healing process, and I'm sure they've got excellent folks who are going to put you through the rehab process. Now, it's the toughest. It is the toughest part of it. You may think you're hurting now, and you may think you're hurting after surgery, but wait till they get their hands on you and start trying to get that to loosen back up and make it as strong, if not stronger than it was before. But that is the whole key. And have you had any conversations with someone like Kendall Diggs, who may have experienced some of the same things you're going through?
Yeah, I've talked to Kendall. Hayden Stovall reached out to me. Obviously teammates last year. And he went through the exact same surgery with his seeing his throwing arm. And so both of them kind of just talked to me about how, the rehab process isn't easy. It's going to suck it sometimes. But they said that if I put my head down and work hard and do everything I'm supposed to with the rehab, that it'll really help me, and I should come back stronger than I was before the injury ever happened.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is very, very true. And it is the toughest part. When is surgery scheduled, Nolan?
I don't have a exact date yet. Hopefully sometime in the next week or two. I'm just still trying to figure out where and when I'm going to do it.
Well, can you at least hang in the dugout and cheer the Razorbacks on to beating Texas A&M?
You're in the dugout last night.
Yeah, I'll be in the dugout.
Great. Okay, good.
Sure.
And the other part about the whole process that's very frustrating is taking a shower. You'll find that out real quick too, Nolan. But it is not easy taking a shower. But you got all those bandages and slings and everything else that you got to go through. But don't let me discourage you, please. Don't let me discourage you, because I've been there before, so I can speak again.
You mean with all the things available to athletes at these colleges now, they don't have somebody to come in and scrub your back or your shoulder to keep you from having that pain?
I wish. But,
all right, Nolan, one quick question. One quick question. Do you like crawfish?
Sure.
You do?
Yeah, I tried it for the first time this past summer, and it was really good.
Come on to eat my catfish, then, brother. We'll load you up. Thank you, Nolan. God bless you. Look forward to talking with you next week. Thank you, Nolan. Susan.
UAMS Ortho Now is now open at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital, UAMS Health. If you have an orthopedic injury, sports, work, or anything else, walk in and get the best in orthopedic care. No appointment needed. Ortho Now is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon. Conveniently located at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. For more information, call 501-686-TOSH. That's 501-686-8674.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Shelter agents Chad Kesterson in Arkadelphia, Kyle Stone in Pine Bluff, or Blake Jumper in Benton.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hello, this is your conscience. I'm in your head every day and happen to know that you're bombarded with ads from all over. But there's one I urge you to act on. The one from Genesis of Conway. They've got the remarkable GV80s going at 2.99%. The luxury you've always wanted, the luxury you deserve. When you hear Genesis of Conway say the future of luxury today, they mean now. This is good through March. Go see Genesis of Conway, and if you don't, as your conscience, I'll bug you about it the rest of your life.
Proudly serving Little Rock and the surrounding areas, All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros is your trusted one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. We know that tire needs and auto repair services can be stressful and unplanned, but at All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, we offer fast and simple financing for everyone. Whether you're looking for new tires or any kind of auto repair, we have your financing needs covered. Visit us in Mapleville or Little Rock today or online at allabouttireandbrake.com. Tire Pros. Love the drive.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where it's much like any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations, minus the always fresh, delicious food options like the family pack catfish dinners. You're safe at home with Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer. I'm Randy Rainwater. We are winding it down here at Eat My Catfish in Benton. And in a moment, I think we may be announcing a winner here in a moment. We'll try to get Travis back over here in a moment and see if we can't wrap this thing up. Hawks Homes is Arkansas's #1 dealer. We have more inventory than anyone in Arkansas. Been in business for 39 years. Custom-built, manufactured, and modular homes. What's amazing, 5-bedroom modular manufactured homes? Wow, 5-bedroom. That can be built to accommodate all your needs. By the way, also build lake houses, hunting clubs, offices, churches, classrooms. If you don't have the land to place your home, Hawks Homes can find it for you and finance it all in one loan. And if you need help with the utilities or dirt work, we can help with that as well. We have multiple lenders that offer financing for all credit scores. Some programs offer a 0 down payment loan. For more information, go to hawkshomes.net, located in Conway and Bryant. That's Hawks Homes. Your next home. Go to Hawks Homes, Bryant, Conway. And rejoined by the man, Travis. We will have a winner. Now, what does this winner actually receive, Travis?
Well, we got a couple things to give away here, Randy, but I think we should do the big prize, don't you?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, so Tally has drawn a name here. I wish we could read that name. Does that say Caffrick? I don't even know what that name says. We have a phone number. I think I can read the phone number.
Katrina. How about Katrina? I don't want to give her number out.
Yeah.
It starts with the C-A-T-R-E-N-A is what it looks like. Katrina.
Yeah, we'll give her a call. Tell her she won a sack.
A sack.
Hopefully she likes it. But hey, if she doesn't, we got a cool cooler over there. We'll get her something. Hey, Tally, hand me one more of those just as a backup because we got another cooler over there. We'll give one of those prizes.
And it is not walked off either.
All right, who's that name, Tally?
Morgan Moore.
Morgan Moore.
Listen to that. Morgan Moore. That's pretty cool. No, I started to say, don't give it to me. They might not ever get anything.
Hey, Randy, I want to say real quick, we appreciate y'all's partnership. Appreciate y'all coming out. You and James and Chuck was here earlier, but it's a great day for it, sitting up here on the patio, and we've done a lot of work on the store over the last several months, and we're really proud of it. The staff's done a really good job. A lot of revamps, new signage, clean, and it's just been an outstanding welcome back to Benton, and this is where we started, man. This is
Tell me the story. Now, I was told the truck was across the street.
Yeah.
That's where you originally – I read the story. I sent you a picture of it. I can't remember if it was an Arkansas business or I can't remember where it was. I read the story. So impressed, but share that story.
Yeah, real quick, Randy. So when you pull out tonight, you'll see a food truck over there now. That's where it was. But we saw that empty lot in fall of 2008, and I just got out of a finance job. I said, I'm going to sell catfish on the side of the road. Had cooked catfish once in my life. Set up shop, and just immediately welcomed by the people of Benton, and they've been so good to us. And that's the reason we have that new sign over there with the food truck on it, because that's what they know us as. You know, You saw people talking to me today that were there the first day, and so always love this OG store down here. But man, we sat in that food truck for 3.5 years. We sold our first sack of crawfish out of that truck. I was down there with a guy who sold it with me last week when we were fishing in Louisiana. He said, "Man, you bought one the first week, you bought 17 the second." And we've really just grown this thing from a case of catfish, a bag of crawfish, into what you see here in the 6 locations across the state, the 4 food trucks and such. But it all started here, and we love this community and always will. And I always had this little this hole in the wall location down in the center of this old shopping center. That means a lot to us. It means a lot to these people of Benton, and we take a lot of pride in it.
So now this, Travis, would be what I'd call, quote, the original Eat My Catfish brick and mortar.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, January of 2011, we opened the store up, and we had about 60 seats in here at that time. There was nothing on the walls, nothing. I mean, it was just bare as can be, but we were as proud as we could. We built this store, me and my dad, in 45 days. Had never been a restaurant before. 45 straight days, opened it up, and it just boomed from the get-go and eventually busted down the wall and had more seats and added the patio and the rest. But just super proud of it.
Now, you said something almost – you just kind of went over it. You said you cooked catfish for the first time?
We cooked catfish once in my life before buying that food truck to cook catfish for my life.
Cooked it one other time.
Yeah, 16 and a half years ago. But I grew up on a small farm with my grandparents living next to me, and they were great cooks. My grandma cooked catfish every Friday, and a lot of the recipes you see in here are her mama's recipe and papa's recipes. That's the mama sauce that you dip your fish in. But we were raised right, not only by cuisine, but also how to treat people, and so very thankful for that upbringing.
Okay. Now, please, would you explain to Rick what this is that I'm handing to you? Because he is – I mean, he is so many times he has misidentified this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
not the live sack.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I did hear him call it pixie dust or Dixie dust earlier. I was driving over here.
I was teasing.
And I almost called James right then and pulled my marketing and said, I'm not going to sponsor the studio anymore if Rick's going to continue to get the name of the season. I've only been sponsoring the studio for 4 or 5 years now, and he can't even get the name of the seasoning right. But that is Willie dust. So this is our seafood. Well, I'm just giving you a hard time. This is our seafood boil.
I deserve it.
So
it's okay.
Yeah. So those sacks walking around here, this is what they get boiled in, and these are shakers. They're all on tabletops here. You can take them home to your house. And I have heard about every story you can hear about what people put this on. But that's our seasoning. It comes out of Opelousas, Louisiana. Shipped straight to us. Not any Dixie dust.
Okay. Willie Dust. I got it.
Willie Dust.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, Rick.
I'm going to have, Randy's he's always got all his notes, he's got them all laminated. I'm going to have him ship up some of these laminated notes so you have it there in front of you.
Thank you. I just thought Willie Dust sounds like the name of a ball player. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Okay, so we've taken care of all of our responsibilities. That is correct?
Yes, sir.
Travis?
Yeah,
okay.
We appreciate y'all.
We got everything done. So, all right, we got Mitch waiting. I want to make sure we got everything taken care of because we want to talk to Mitch. Mitch, good afternoon. Welcome to What's Up, Mitch?
So I got a quick question for Rick. I had a family member that passed away and left me a baseball. And I didn't really pay much attention when I first got it. I was real thankful that when his wife gave it to me. And when I got home, I got to looking at it. Hell, it's New York Yankees baseball. It's got Mickey Mantle's signature, Fitz Peterson, Al Dorning, Whitey Ford. I mean, a bunch of amazing signatures. How does a guy go about authenticating something like that? I mean, I don't necessarily need it appraised. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I'd like to know what year model, what year the team was, because Al Dorning was done in 1950. It looks like
Al Dunning was actually still pitching for the Yankees. He pitched for the Yankees in the early 60s. All those other guys, Mickey Mantle.
Downing?
Yeah, Al Downing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was later pitching. He's the one that later gave up.
Name.
Yeah, he later gave up the home run to Aaron, but that was later in his career. Yeah, but Downing pitched for the Yankees in the early 60s. I would say, Beckett. You can look on Beckett, BECKETT.com. See if they have someone who authenticates, because baseball cards they do. And so you might check that one out, or just go to the internet and say who authenticates. There is a company that does that, and I don't know the name of it right off the top of my head. And so you can just go authenticating baseball memorabilia, and the name of the companies will pop up. But Beckett does baseball cards. I know that. And then there's another service that does everything.
So the ones I've seen were talking about sending it to them. I don't really want to do that.
Well, then other than that, you'll have a hard time doing it, because that's kind of how to get it done. Unless you find out where they are and just go see them.
Right. Okay.
Mitch,
all right,
we got to go.
Guys.
Thank you, buddy. Travis, we thoroughly enjoyed it today. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate everything y'all do.
Here we go. That's it. Coming up next, Wild Things with what's his name and Mark. Have a great rest of the night. So long, everybody.
Don't worry, we don't understand ourselves either.